Hello, everybody. Welcome to ZealZaddy. This is our D&D 5e campaign called Elixia. Tonight, we are playing Season 2, Episode 25, called The Mark. And just weird stuff happened in the last session, and it's only going to get weirder tonight. So, I'm very excited. We have our first guest of the campaign, which is kind of amazing. I've always been nervous about doing it. It's always one of those things where there's so much things to do technically and story-wise to make it fit. And I'm going to surprise everybody right now because I am playing in the game tonight and Liam is DMing because we've landed in his world of Ravis. So I'm going to take a player seat for a little bit and I'm going to let him run everything. We've talked... Honestly, we've been talking about this for 6 months or more. And these worlds have been intertwining in ways that have been very behind the scenes, but they will start to reveal now that my players have made a mess of everything in the best way possible. So let's bring everybody on. We make all the mics hot. And so I am going to take the coolest seat there is, which is a player seat. And Liam, welcome to DMing on ZealZaddy.
Hi guys, thank you very much for having me.
Hey. Scott,
Yes.
you tricked us bad, bro.
I totally did.
Yeah,
Pulled the wool over our eyes.
I
man.
love it though.
I love it. That was an awesome surprise.
It's been a long time coming. I think it's a lot of conniving in the background, but we're finally here.
If you ever see
I'm
our
very
Discord
excited.
chats, they go on for like forever, and they are so interesting. One of these days, I might copy it all and dump it into like on a website so you can see all the conversations. Have been amazing.
See, the dogs are excited. It's just beyond.
Are those blink dogs from the Feywild?
They're so
Yes.
excited. They're so excited. But no, I'm so madly hyped for this. I'll say it, like even just from the Discord stuff, there's been a lot of things that without us planning just fit, and just Scott would say something and I'd just be like, it's already in my story, like stop, get out of my head. And it worked. It just worked so well that I couldn't resist. So yeah, we'll get in to this episode. Sorry, I didn't catch you there, Scott.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I think you're muted.
I was muted because of the dogs. Let's do a quick recap before you get started, just so that
Yeah, please.
you know we always do that in the beginning, just to kind of get where we are. Oh God, I didn't even think about that. While the silent page goes,
Yeah, that was all I knew.
yeah, it's like ooh. So. It was kind of a Cerridwen night mostly. I mean, it was like she was in hell or high water, the maestro. So why don't you do the recap? You're on mute.
Can't
You're
hear you.
muted.
You're muted. Now you're muted. Everyone mute themselves.
That good? How's that? Okay.
Good.
Okay. There's like a button on my headset
Yep.
that I sometimes hit.
Yeah.
All right. So last time we had gathered all our musicians together. We had everything pretty much laid out, ready to go. We traveled with the musicians and I guess the entourage over to the rock flute, as I have dubbed it, and we began the concert, and the magic started to work. We eventually started this, like, the magic kind of created this bubble around us, and all this crazy, like, images were happening in the air, and the let's see, that one guy that Vesryn almost traded spells with, what's his name again? I don't have my notes, unfortunately.
Let me see here.
It was
a
like
cool name.
Let me see here. NPCs.
Anyway, he was outside the bubble doing things. So there were some people who couldn't come. Like, we were isolated within our bubble of space, and it, like, I think we were going through time and space and just going through all, like, the different pocket dimensions or, like, the worlds between. And then the emotional musician, the one who like cried at being so moved in her audition, she has this wicked evil grin and she starts to just play off beat, and then everything just tanks as we are trying to basically like bring back the symphony back together. And so then Desus and Vesryn go after her. Hipley knocked himself out with a drink because she was like, this is
No part. No
this
part.
is a lot.
He's valid for that.
And not so then Vesryn and Desus were kind of wrestling with her, and they got her to stop, but then we needed someone to play the bow drawn part, which is like a little hand drum, and then the only person who could really do it was me, and I'm also conducting, so I tried to conduct and play, which didn't go over very well. And then I thought to myself, okay, we need to get Cerridwen's mom here, because she requested to have her mom show up at her big show. And her mom was her bard trainer, because she comes from a family of bards. So Desus runs over, has to make like reaches through the bubble veil thing, and has to make a depth save. And then so that was intense. And then she pulls Rhiannon through, who's Cerridwen's mom, and Rhiannon comes over and she plays the bow drawn, and then Cerridwen then continues the symphony. We subdued the other bow drawn player, and then we landed basically in a new area in a big field. We noticed that there were some musicians who died and some people in the audience who died. Only quite a few people in the audience died, unfortunately. It didn't take we didn't teleport all of the audience members, just like a portion of the audience members, and of that portion that teleported with us, a lot of them died, which I feel terrible about.
It's just a wicked mosh pit out there, you know?
Yeah.
Best party way to go that you could think of.
Here for a good time, not a long time.
So we've landed in what we think is Reveus. I know pretty certainly, at least it's where Taliesin is, which is Cerridwen's long lost son. She basically used an orb to spy on him, and she saw this tree in the vision she saw, and she's seeing the same tree now. And I think that's about it.
The one lady tried to flee, but we stopped her.
Oh yeah, there. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I will say, the tree, when you see the tree, really all you're seeing is the bottom of the tree. Looks like roots, but it's cut in half from eye level up, and all the views you'd seen low, and you never realized, and you realize it's also not wood. It looks like it's stone. So, all right.
Okay.
I'm done DMing now.
So as everyone begins to open your eyes, you realize that it's raining, only softly, and it seems like it's beginning to end, but the dampness on the ground and the dripping from the trees tells you that it's been raining heavy for a long time. As you look around, you can see the bottom of this tree that, as described, halfway, about waist level, as if it's been cut finely with some almost like a neat blade, and the level on top has almost been petrified, almost as Cerridwen sees. In the middle of this stump, almost carved up out of the stump, is what looks like a stone altar with a bowl and 5 candles on it. Around you, in what seems to be like a misshapen circle, is 5 stone pillars. 4 of them stand about 15 feet out from the main trunk, and one of them lies toppled. Around outside that circle, you can see the members of the audience and the musicians that were pulled through with the group. All seem to be frozen in place in the positions they were last in as you teleported. What would everybody like to do?
Well, the woman she's not frozen, right? Because she wasn't playing anymore, so she's free.
You see the Talaith currently in like a moving position. All the members, even the audience that were down and dead, they just seem in this frozen state. Not stone or anything, just almost like held in position.
I'll look at her and I'll be like, so what was your plan once we got here? You seem to know where you're running to.
You look and there's not even reaction to your voice. So is everything okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even as you speak, there's not even a movement or reaction. As the rest of you look around Cerridwen, you would definitely immediately see your mother still standing again in this frozen, almost like stopped in time and space, caught in between, just stood in place.
I'm gonna run over to nearby and I'll go to the first chair and thing.
As you touch them and try to move them, it almost is like stone. It's like they're fixed to the ground as you try to shift them. You could, I'm assuming just with the shove, you wouldn't be like trying to push them down, but if you would like to give a harder shove, you could. But with that simple shake, the clothes don't ruffle, you can't get hold of them. It's almost like all stone, but it doesn't look stone.
Okay. I don't know. Should just do the classic like hand wave in front of the eyes, you know.
I'll say if you're proficient, anyone who is proficient could give me a medicine as you could just sort of looking around at each of these figures. Those who aren't, is anybody else doing anything in the immediate area?
I'm checking on Hipley immediately. Hipley.
Okay. Yeah, you run over to Hipley.
Ask out news on.
Shaking awake. Hipley.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Is it done? Are we? I have
sorta.
a massive headache. Oh. What do you mean, sort of? Oh. Well.
Looking around,
I mean,
besides the table, is there anything else of note in the area?
No. So this clearing after. So there's the stone circles, and then there's maybe another 30 feet before it becomes a dense forest again that spreads out as far northeast, southwest as far as you guys can see. Did anyone make a medicine?
I'm proficient because I'm a bard.
Go, yeah.
Okay,
go
yeah.
ahead.
I've rolled a 20.
Okay, so
It's 24.
Immediately taking a look over, at least your mother in front of you, you can determine that they are alive. With the 20, I would say that you've never seen this kind of paralysis before, but it looks something akin to hold person.
Yeah.
It doesn't look quite like that, but it doesn't look to be a poison. You don't see any like wounds or anything like that. There's no vein pulsing. You would guess something magical in nature.
Yeah, she'll check over like the major like arteries and be like, well, I think they're frozen with magic or something. I can't really determine what it is. What? Is anyone nearby? I mean, is anyone nearby to hear? She's like,
yeah. I mean, I think we're all kind of near each other.
Mm-hmm.
When
You
she
don't
says
be able
it's
to hear it.
magic,
It's quite quiet.
when she says it's magic, is there any kind of arcane magic that I might know that might cause something like this?
You can give me an arcana if you would like. For the rest of you sort of looking around, the only real thing of note in this area, besides what you yourself have brought with you, is the altar itself. That even sort of as you're looking around with this distraction, there's almost like you find yourself taking a look over to it and not necessarily like enchanted to it, but there's definitely an energy about this altar. And on it you can see there is a stone bowl that is currently just overflowing with the final drips of the rain, and these 5 candles, which you can see again look to be carved entirely of stone.
For the Arcana check, I got a 23.
Okay, so taking a look at if it's hold person, it's massively powerful hold person. That you could imagine some higher level magics, though not within your scope. It's not out of the bounds of some of the highest level mages you would have met, but definitely high level if somebody has done this. If it's not an effect of, could be an effect of the transition, could be maybe because they weren't in the bubble. It could be tied to the altar.
Yeah, and does it feel kind of like, because we've kind of had a little bit of encounter with some of the ancient more like Fey type magic. Does it feel like more of something like that kind of nature? Obviously, I would assume.
I would say you do get that sort of essence. I would also say there is something else there. Something you've not encountered too much. There is definitely some sort of Fey influence here, but it's mixed and diluted with something else that you don't recognize.
And I would relay that to you guys. This feels much older than, but maybe there's something else. I've never encountered magic like this. I don't know.
What will Daria say? So,
Very powerful.
She's gonna go and look at the bowl.
Okay, yeah.
Check out the bowl.
Okay, so you almost have to. There's not quite steps carved into the trunk, but you almost have to step up the trunk to access the altar. And as you do, you can see it just looks like a very simple stone bowl. It's currently filled with a murky brown-red liquid that, with the drops of rain that are trickling down, is just slowly overflowing. You can see on top of the altar is arcane runes and lines carved out from the bowl that I would say, just because of the way the rain is making this bowl overflow, you can see that there's almost a purpose. The grooves allow liquid to flow down and towards the candles, and you can see these arcane rituals carved all the way up, leading to a candle each.
Well, I think I found something over here. Do you want to come look at it, Vesryn?
Yes.
And Hipley.
Yes. Perhaps.
I think it's more up your alley.
And as we're walking, I will look over at Desis because she's been oddly quiet since we got here to make sure she's okay.
I was gonna say, after I make sure Hipley's okay, I go to Thesis.
Yeah, because I've been thrown into like a daze and basically collapse after, all the pain that struck right through my body, pulling ran on through.
I forgot you were down.
Yeah.
Me too.
Sorry. So I'm just kind of slowly sitting up, and head is still buzzing and racked with that pain, not quite understanding fully what happened, and is just very eyes glazed, looking about, seeing the bodies, and then looking to see what everyone else is doing.
I'm kneeling in front of you at eye level, like, you good?
Yeah, don't put your hand through magical walls.
I mean, I usually don't.
Seeing that Jada has this covered, Vesryn will join Hipley and Gwyn up on the thing to see if we can, work together with our different backgrounds of knowledge and figure out what these runes might mean.
Okay, so I will say that obviously you can make an Arcana. Again, either of the other two, if you're proficient in Arcana, you can make it. I would also allow, if you're proficient in religion, you can make a religion check as well. Apologies if you
I got a dirty 20.
A natural 1.
Hey.
And that one is
I
a
got a
critical.
headache.
Still feeling that drink.
Hipley ain't in it. He's got a headache.
And this is Cerridwen.
I got a 16.
Okay, so I would say, looking it over, Hipley, pretty carvings on the tree. Definitely magical. Regardless of how low you roll, it's still a magical rune. But as to what it would do, not too sure. Cerridwen on the 16, you can definitely see there's a lot of divination lines stored spells. Almost like you're seeing like lots and lots of stored spells within the altar, all along the divination line. I'd say with the Dirty 20, Vesryn, you're seeing an extra level of it's enhancing. And you think that there is something to do with the bowl and the candles that, when operated correctly, might enhance a user's natural divination abilities. With that, you wouldn't be able to tell exactly what, but I would say that with that Dirty 20, you definitely can tell from other arcane rituals you've seen, you put some form of liquid into the bowl that would filter out through and then potentially perform some arcane such, but with only the Dirty 20, it's hard to figure out the exact ritual.
And it's red, right? You said it's reddish?
It's reddish, brown. Anyone sort of looking at it can just give me a straight intelligence. If you're everyone there, if you're just around it, you can see it leaking out.
Rolled a nat 10, but +4, so 14.
I'll try. I'm curious as I walk over.
Got an 18. Oh,
I feel like it's blood.
Nope, 11.
Okay, so I'd say Cerridwen and Vesryn looking over it. Yeah, it's either like clay water or it's blood mixed with the rain. I would say that from the color and with the higher roll, Cerridwen, you don't think it's a lot of blood. It's not like the whole bowl was full of blood and has then been rained in. It's almost like a bleeding into it, and then it's filled up slowly and mixed and mixed and mixed and is now overflowing. But other than that, you're not sensing currently any, besides the general feel, there's no currently active arcane effects from what you can see.
Look at Dwyn. I'm like, well, every other circle that we've dealt with back in, where we're from, had some type of blood or sacrifice.
True.
It seems to be some type of divination.
Well, yeah, I was able to get a little bit of that out. And I imagine you explained that it's an augmenter. Do you think you could spy on people in different planes with this thing?
I mean, it could do that. There's a lot of things it could do with divination. There's, see the future, see the past, see possible outcomes. I mean, unless I know exactly what it does, it's not exactly, easy to know how to do it.
Do you think it has anything to do with everyone being frozen?
With the Dirty 20, do I feel like that it's connected to that?
You don't think it's connected to that. I'll say with your current investigations and the 23 Arcana that you got earlier, you think it's more to do with the time, the space shift, and the bubble that was around you maybe protecting you from those effects.
No. Would I think that maybe somebody was just here recently doing this? Does this look fresh? Like perhaps we interrupted somebody.
I would say definitely not interrupted, just by the level of the bowl filling and it overspilling. If anybody wishes to give me survival or perceptions to take a look around the area to see on the tree and altar itself, there's no markings or tracks, but with the earth being so wet, it would definitely be potential to find.
I will look at while they're looking, Dwyn. I will say to you, this is like low tone. Do you think perhaps if we can't find a way out here, if I should try to activate this thing to see what it does, maybe it'll show us a way out?
I was just thinking about using the hag ball with it. I mean, it's a diviner instrument, and this is a diviner augmenter, so put two and two together.
It might work.
Right. I don't know how I feel about mixing magic, so
It could be very dangerous.
My perception survival is the same. I rolled a total of 25.
Okay, so
Damn.
thesis.
That's what druids are for.
Yeah. Taking a look around, Very little in the way of disturbance that isn't animal or natural. However, with that 25, a lot less animal tracks and presence than you would expect in a forest this dense. And you do find old, maybe a few weeks old, 2 or 3 different sets of footprints. They don't seem linked. With that 25, you would say they look injured. There's a dragging and a limping. So you're sort of on the east side, literally walking from north to south and onwards. There's like a limping, dragging, you'd say medium height, maybe some walking boots sort of thing. And then on the other side, you find 2 tracks again, one small, one medium, but both with not the same foot, but they're definitely like shuffling or limping in a way that would suggest they were injured as they moved through the area. But besides the footprints, you don't see any signs of like blood or injury or anything of that kind.
I kind of start pointing it out to everyone. I'm just like, I don't see much of way of animals here, but there seems to be tracks, and based on their patterning, maybe injuring and dragged, but go over in this direction.
Once pointed out, you would all easily be able to see those.
Well, we have a couple options. We can follow those trails, but in doing so, we would leave all these people here. Or we can do a little bit more investigating around the area, or we could try to activate this circle here.
Well, Odysseus, are you fit to walk? You look ghastly. No offense.
I'm fine. It was just a lot of pain.
Yeah, like that happened behind her, so she has no idea that happened. So, well, what happened?
Oh, well, I put my hand through the magic dome to pull your mother through. And I think it nearly killed me.
Like 1,000-yard stare. Oh. Wow, thank you. I would heal you, but I'm afraid what would happen if I did that?
Well, for the most part, I feel intact. It was almost like an attack on the soul, I guess. I don't know, but in terms of what Vesryn was saying, I mean, I think investigating the altar area is important, but I think we should also maybe try and find your son as quickly as possible.
Well, we don't even have our bearings yet. I think it's...
Well, if there's tracks, there's probably people, right? Civilization.
Yeah, I was
We could
thinking
ask
maybe
questions.
because if
Right.
these people participate in whatever that is, as I gesture to the altar, they might at least give us more insight than what we can derive from our assumptions here.
As you guys are talking from the south, your conversation is instantly cut by a repeated thumping against a tree hollow through. The animals in your area scatter and northwards. All of them immediately. Every animal in your vicinity is heading northwards.
That does
Vesryn
not
draws
sound
his-
good.
Vesryn draws his blade out and that
Um,
dagger.
The sound continues, although it seems, I would say, with the 25 perception still continuing, think they're moving away from you. Whatever it is, it seems to be getting quieter as it goes. The thumps, it's odd. The thumping on the trees seems to echo through the whole forest. So while the voice itself seems to be getting quieter, the occasional thumping against a tree seems to just echo and be just as loud.
Do you think perhaps somebody's trying to warn others that we're here?
Well, that's one thing.
The other is they might need help.
We should be prepared. We don't know where we are or who might greet us.
Well, I'm gonna get my armor back on. I just had this big fancy dress on and just...
Yes, we should be prepared.
Okay, so anything you would like to do to prepare before you begin to investigate?
Take out my rope dart.
Well, just because you're new, I have mage armor at will, so that's up though.
Yep. No stress. No, that's all good. That's all good. If no one else needs to cast anything, how are you planning to investigate? The whole time this noise continues, and I would say, sort of, as you sort of getting ready and taking this moment, you maybe hear, you hear a little bit of time. I would say, Desis, you could identify that it seems to be doing circles. It sort of gets a bit louder, and then it gets a bit quieter, and then it gets a bit louder. But the whole time, just this aching, pained screech.
I'd relay that to the group and just like, it's weird. It seems to move off, but then come back, and it almost sounds pained.
Well, do we want to? I don't like splitting the party, but do we want to keep some people here with the frozen people, or do we all want to go?
I mean, it's not like the
I don't
frozen
know.
people are doing anything.
Well,
Well, I'm more concerned about what that thing will do to the frozen people. Because, if it's something that eats people, then it just sees a bunch of nicely stacked snacks. So,
Yeah, flash frozen on the go jerky, so to speak.
But if we leave, if all of us leave and there's nobody here to protect them, then something might come and get them while we're chasing these sounds.
Why don't we just stay here? If it's after us, then it'll come to us.
I say we stand our ground. I'm with Jade on this one.
Do you think perhaps if we use enough force, perhaps we can try to break your mother free? If we push her hard enough, maybe it'll...
You mean like physically push her?
Let's not do your mother. Let's do the one that tried to cause all these problems. Because if anything goes wrong, I'd rather it go wrong on her than on somebody that we care about.
Sure, we can try to push her.
Yeah. I'll assist you as you're trying to push her to see if we can knock her down and break her free from the hold.
I'll stand guard.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and just push her.
No worries. So make me a athletics with advantage if you are being aided by Vesryn.
Drunk girl.
Oh, a 4 and a 5. That's a solid
Nice help,
7.
Vesryn.
Yeah.
Nice help, Vesryn.
So you push and like the mud and it's definitely the mud's fault as you just can't grab purchase and you just slip in. But no purchase and movement. I'd say Vesryn again, as you're interacting closely, looking them over, you sort of, even as you put your hands on them to push, there's almost like a barrier between your hand and them. And as you're pushing, again, you almost get this feeling like you're not pushing against them. You're pushing against these tethers and binds between the two spaces.
Well, hold on one second. I need to do this because we need to know if we can even use magic here. So all of you step back. I'm going to detect magic.
This is a terrible
Wait,
idea.
no, I already tested magic. Remember my flower beard?
Was that? I still want to see if we step away from the table maybe we step away from them. If I step within like just two of these people where we got dropped is just within the range, but far enough away from it. I want to try to. If we're fighting people here, we need to be able to use our spells or know if we can. So.
Right. All right.
Maybe you. Sorry.
Well, yes, I
Okay.
do. I'm a wizard.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, I think I can use Blade Song just fine. Still, it's not a spell, but
No, that's a stance technically.
yeah.
Alright.
But
So you would like to cast Detect Magic?
Have to go.
yeah, but at a little bit of a distance, I want to see if I can, because I'm thinking it's something with like art, like time related or something like that that's on them. I want to see what type of magic's on them, but also if anything else is giving off magic in the area.
Okay, so you cast the spell and you say the words that are familiar to you at this point. And as you release the energy, you feel the magic energy go. And at the point you would normally get the extra overlay almost, nothing happens. And those that are stood behind see one of the candles on the altar light.
It's in the thing.
Yeah, saw that.
Vesryn, give me an arcana, as you've had some previously good rolls and it was you casting the spell.
I rolled 11, but I have a 7, so 18.
Okay, you are certain the spell worked. The altar did something then.
Without knowing anything, I'm just assuming here. I think when we cast spells, it fuels this altar.
Could we fill the altar?
We don't know what the altar will do once we fill it. It could be a way to to prepare for the divination if you're going to do it, or it might do something really nasty to us.
True.
I would say that with your previous dirty 20 and just a quick glance at the table again, you think more the first option. You don't see any harmful spells within the enchanting. You do get the idea that maybe it is taking the energy and boosting the ritual user with that energy.
All right, and I will relay that. Whoever did this, it's probably boosting them.
Well, you said that it was all divination spells.
Knowledge in Arcana.
And again, the conversation broken as the screeches come a little closer, but then fade away again. The drizzling rain just continues.
So we can use magic, but it probably won't work for the next 4 times we do it. And I don't know what'll happen once we do. Or we can just try to avoid it for now and deal with what comes at us without our magic.
Well, let's see how far out you need to be for the magic to take effect. Why this altar?
Might have to be in the tree line. But
Well,
We can follow at least the footsteps because we know if whoever made those steps is alive, we can follow that in a direction and maybe we'll run into people or at least people that can, or creatures that can communicate with us.
looking at the footsteps, are they large, kind of like somewhere between mine and Cerridwen size footprints?
So the solo pair heading north to south on the east side of the altar seems to be humanoid, medium-sized. You would say from the size of it looks like a work boot or like a hiking boot, and it looks to be like, like a size 10, size 11 male, big boot, heavy boot print. On the other side, you would see there's a small set of footprints, maybe something halfling, goblin, gnome sized, and another set that you would potentially say more, again, elven, human, medium sized creature. Those ones would say they don't seem to be walking or hiking boots as such, but I would say with the 25, you'd be able to tell it's almost got the imprints of like wooden made shoes. Sort of the two, like almost Japanese style with the two slits that have imprinted into the.
So, your last vision of Ursa, was he wearing boots? Do you remember what he was wearing?
I don't believe Scott described what he was wearing.
He was wearing boots.
Yes, boots, torn boots.
So, those prints right there that Dees found might be your son's footprints. You said the person he was eaten, correct?
It was, that was a while ago. I can imagine he'd stay around a dangerous thing that ate his friend.
But we also know that time acts funny sometimes in these places.
You're right.
More people are here.
That's valid.
There
True.
could be a community at least nearby.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
like you said, those shoes look different. So those are probably people from here. If these shoes are his, I would assume that that's the direction he went.
Anyway. Well, we're not doing. I mean, we're not doing much good here. I feel bad leaving them, but I mean, she looks around like
Leaving your mom.
just like, you know, do you want to just tuck him into the woods or something?
Just
I
like
don't-
pull some bushes over there.
You know, just-
I mean, listen, at this point, there's a lot of noise. We could just announce ourselves in different languages and see if somebody will come forward and speak with us. I mean,
Right? That's a good
I'm
plan.
pretty sure it's no secret that we're here at this point.
All right, so I'm gonna start going down my list of languages.
It's quite a list, Liam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an anthropologist.
Before we got into the language, are we just walking south, saying out things?
I think we're staying in. We're
You just
staying
want to
here.
stay in this area? Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Are you
Before we
gonna
leave,
spread-
just call out.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. Okay, so go through the list.
Common, draconic, dwarfish, elfish, giant, gnomish, and sylvan.
Okay. So you call out, and when you call out, the screeching suddenly stops. I don't know, like maybe on the second call out, I'd let you decide if you want to continue calling out at that point. But around the second call out of, hey, is anybody there? The screeching just like,
I mean, the second language was draconic, so she'd just keep talking in draconic. Is anyone there?
you would all see from the south shuffling forwards towards you a figure, a humanoid figure that seems crippled and bent over as it limps forwards. In the light, even with the cover of the forest, you can see rotting flesh hanging from the bones as it limps towards you. But almost as you instinctively know what this is, it turns towards Cerridwen, who's calling out, kill me, kill, and then immediately slams its head against the nearest tree before stumbling forwards again towards you.
All right.
No
I'll
problem.
hit him with a firebolt. I'll
Yeah,
attempt
so
it.
he is currently, I would say, if you sort of spread out as they call out, I'd say no further than 40 from anybody. I would say Cerridwen in the middle, about 30 feet, who would be immediately sort of flanking them at the altar. I don't know if you guys have a usual setup, or if you have a usual formation, I'm perfectly cool with that being a thing. If not, then...
I think in this situation, I would be by Cerridwen for sure. I don't know if Hipley stayed up there with us or if he moved anywhere, but...
I feel like I would have started moving back away from the altar after seeing it kind of take Vesryn's magic for the candles.
Hipley, where do you reckon? Anywhere is fine. Where do you think you would have?
He'd be the last place he was, so he'd be sitting there still looking at the pretty marking, just kind of half kind of paying attention to what's going on, half kind of just thinking. So yeah, he'd be in the same spot.
Okay, no worries. And Jada?
I would have probably been near Hipley since he's not paying attention.
Okay, so I say that Cerridwen and Vesryn, you are about 30 feet away from the creature. Hipley and Jada about 40. I will say that as Desis is backed up a little bit, you're about 50, 55, okay? As it's stumbling towards you. It's about 10 feet into the tree line, but not like using cover, sort of stumbling through the trees. I will go first on Vesryn's firebolt, but then we will roll an initiative.
Well, he said kill him. Let's see what I can do. Natural 16 plus the spell is, I think, +7. Let me look at my spells. Yeah, +7. So 23.
Easily a strike as you throw the magic forwards.
2d10.
You all notice the magic, however it usually looks, it works perfectly normally as
Totally
they throw it
forgot about
forwards.
Okay, it does work though. Cantrip work.
Mm-hmm.
Cantrip work. Okay. 6, 7, 8 points with the firebolt. 2d10
Okay,
is all I got.
a large smash as it slams into the figure's form. As it knocks them back, you can see that they clearly used to be human. Gaunt and stretched. Those of you that are knowledgeable in medicine, dead weeks, maybe even a month and a bit. You can see bits of dirt and moss clinging to the clothes that would give you the impression almost they were lying in the grass for a long time before getting up to this state. As it hits, it fixes its eyes towards Vesryn and just again like, kill me! And again just starts slamming against, but it's still just stumbling slowly towards you.
Sorry, Scott, we're going to kill your character already.
I'm just chatting with people in chat.
All right.
Now initiative time.
Yes, please, everybody.
Yay.
Ooh, that was a roll.
Ooh, beautiful.
I'm rolling pretty good tonight. I like it. Let's see here. 15.
I have 19 total.
I have 18
Okay.
total.
So that was Jade at 18.
13 for Hipley.
13 on Hipley.
11 for Cerridwen.
And 15 for Vesryn.
Okay. So, Desis, starting first, about 55 feet away, this figure stumbling out of the tree line. You saw the firebolt work. It seemed to work as normal. Your turn.
All right, perfect. So seeing that, I'm going to channel into my mental image of star maps and channel in that druidic connection that I have, and patterns of stars appear before me as I begin to cast guiding bolts using one of my ability uses for it, and I'm going to shoot at it.
Okay, so as you gather this energy, one thing you note, the energy gathers easier and quicker. You almost feel at ease and connected with the land underneath you as you pull in this energy and throw forward your bolt that seems to work as usual.
Interesting feeling, but it makes me feel invigorated after near death. And dice agree, it's a nat 20.
Hey, hey!
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Guiding bolt is 46.
Might be done before we even begin.
Oh, I think I'm dead.
Druid said no.
Yeah, Druid said no. No death today. Double the dice, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I think this is my first nat 20 on attack in this.
I don't know how you guys usually play it, but I usually do roll the set amount of dice and then double whatever you have rolled in front of you.
So 46.
Don't roll ones. Don't roll ones.
I didn't. That's good. So 5, 10,
Oh my gosh.
13, 16 doubled.
32. Oof. Okay.
Nice.
So how does obviously you've got the starlight form. How does it look as you're about to obliterate this figure?
Yeah, so in this guiding bolt, I'm staff in one hand and kind of move it across so the crescent of it is in my face as I pull my hand up. And I turn and rotate, and the stars start to blip and shoot into my hand into this radiant ball of energy, and it surges on forth just in a flash, going and striking the creature.
Very cool. So you see it hits the creature dead in its hollow chest, almost filling and expanding. You see the light cracks coming out of all the holes in its body before it and bursts and falls to the floor.
Nice shot, Desis.
Well,
Yeah.
that worked.
Oh, that was an...
Was that thing... Did it sound like it was making the sound that we heard?
It did, although without the speech. It was the same sort of pitch and gargledness, just with like almost distorted speech in between it. I will, however, as Jada, you're almost like, oh, okay, it's done.
Yeah.
Your passive picks up another smaller figure sprinting towards you out of the tree line from behind, and you see a second from the right as two goblinoid figures, this same but no words and just mad in the eyes, almost rage zombie style, sprint towards you. One is running straight towards Cerridwen and one towards Vesryn as they both jump up towards the altar in attack styles. I would say both of you, as you've seen goblins before, it's again long dead, gaunt, skin dripping from the bones, but almost the way they throw themselves at you is all their force, no care for breaking bones and dislocating limbs. So the attack on Cerridwen is only an 8, as you easily deflect the wildly swinging goblin. And then on Vesryn, 15, which I think just catches on your mage armor, correct?
Nope, 16 armor class.
Oh, so you almost on the shielded bubble of your mage armor, you can see this creature like drooling and trying to bite at you. There is a distinct difference in the aggression between the two. While the throws and the hits seem just as hard and aggressive, the intent was not there with the one asking to be killed. These two, immediately you can feel they're trying to kill.
But they're rotting, right? Like rotting like him as well?
They still, yeah. Although I would say maybe only 2 weeks, not as long. It would then be Jada's turn.
Oh my goodness. Got the pick of the lot. Yay. Okay, I will cast Booming Blade on my rope dart. How far? Okay, no, because they're like.
So yeah, they've moved up. They've moved up now. So you're only within. You're 15 feet from one of them, 10 feet from the other. The closest.
Which one am I closest to?
You would be closest to Vesryn's.
Vesryn's? Okay. Vesryn's fine. I'm gonna take a step. I'm gonna take a step.
I love that you have that confidence in me. I really do, actually. Thank you.
You know what? I know you by now. I've seen you fight. I will take a step closer to Cerridwen, and I will slash my rope dart.
Okay, yeah, take a shot.
No, it's fine. I'll do it. I'll just do that.
No, if you wanted to do something before, that's fine as well.
No. I think that, well, yes, actually. Can I take back the booming blade?
Yes, of course.
And I would instead like to grapple.
Okay.
With my rope dart. So I would like to attack with my rope dart and attempt to grapple.
Is it just so I've never done grappling with a weapon? Same rules.
Yeah, it's like a whip essentially.
Yeah. But I use their acrobatics like against your.
Yeah,
attacker.
against my yes.
No worries. Okay.
No, that's a natural
one.
What?
What is it though? Although I do suppose crit fails in combat.
Yeah, it's a crit fail.
So you swing out with the rope dart, but unfortunately, the creature's almost like, even though it's been rebuffed by Cerridwen, it's crawling around her legs and in between, and you're not able to get a proper shot that won't also tangle Cerridwen. So almost forgo it fully, if that makes sense. You don't fully go for the grapple on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. No worries. I will just pull. Oh no! I'll just pull back my rope dart and say, "Oh, I hate these things."
Okay, no worries.
That's my turn. I'll probably back up. Well, no, I'll. What will I do? I want to move, but I'm not sure. I'll probably back up. I'll back up just a bit so that I'm within range of both of them with my rope dart.
Yeah, not a problem. So you could definitely move around. You've got the movement if you want to be sort of same distance, but on the other side of Cerridwen and Vesryn.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Perfect. So you slide around that way. Amazing. After that, it is Vesryn's turn again, as you've got this one goblin creature wrapping itself around Cerridwen's legs, and another just on the edge of your mage armor trying to bite its way through.
How close is the? Me and Cerridwen are pretty close.
You're 5 feet. You can reach both of them.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to bonus action. I'm going to do my blade song because I'm not sure if there's gonna be more coming out of the woods after this, because 3 have already come out. There could be more. So I'm going to pop that. So let me go ahead and initiate that. And then after I use that bonus action, I will attack twice. And as a blade singer, one of my attacks can be a cantrip. So the first strike with the rapier will be normal, and the second one's going to be a blade song, or not blade song, green flame blade.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the first one is a +7 to hit. No, +6, and I rolled a natural 19. So pretty sure that's going to hit
for
the first one. So that'll be 1d8 plus 4, right? No, plus 3. There we go. 6, 7, 8, 9 points for the first strike.
Okay, as you tear through the skin and fabric, whereas the other ones seem to react to your hits, these just completely ignore. As you tear through and guts fall out, it seemed to do damage, but they're just phased over, trying to grab at you.
And then the second strike will be with a green flame blade.
Mm-hmm.
Natural 20. Holy shit.
Hey, can you give me that? Give me some of that.
Damn.
I'll give it. So that'll be.
Did you just high five?
So that's actually going to be on the main one. It's going to be 2d8. One of them is going to be fire. So it'll be double that. So the one of them is it's going to be 2 points for the regular damage. That's doubled.
Oh.
And then for the fire, that's 5, so another 10 for fire damage.
Okay, so the sword goes through the first, and the fire spreading outwards, just roasting the creature, almost disintegrating to a black ash.
And then the fire also leaps off of him, hitting the second one, and it takes 2d8 fire damage. Double. So that will be 9 points of fire damage to him.
Okay, so the flames hit it to the side of the face, and whereas the first strike without the flames, there was no reaction, again, you get this reaction from the hit as it begins to sort of back away. Anything else with your turn as you fire off? It is still standing.
I'm right where I want to be, and right next to Cerridwen, fighting these things off. So,
okay, Hipley, as you're beginning to move, one thing you wouldn't. It's almost like the quiet in the forest becomes really apparent, and the rain has stopped. And just as you sort of take note, the body just drops them.
Wait,
the goblin that was left standing, almost
gotcha.
like backing up, it just almost like ragdolls and just to the floor.
That's also I was gonna. So, Hippity goes to do an Eldritch Blast and just notices it falls and just drops his hand. Well, so because that's only the creature, right? Because he blasts one. Okay, yeah. So like you see him like it start to probably do something to just stop because he knows. So I see it fall. It's like, well, all right, well, that takes care of that. So, so yeah, so I'm gonna my turn. Then I'm just gonna see. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, well, that's done. So.
Just in terms of if there's anything you would get to react, sort of everyone else is in the movement of finishing off. There would be you and Cerridwen that would get a moment to maybe look around or do anything else before I gave it back to the whole group. No, okay. No worries. Cerridwen, again, the same. You would all now see, and again noting this calmness sort of come over the forest again. Cerridwen, your passive perception is godly.
Yeah. You will travel.
Yeah, a quick glance around. You don't hear any more movement. You don't see any more movement. You're still catching the occasional movement up northwards, but you determine that's probably still an animal fleeing for its life. But it seems clear.
That was weird, right?
Yeah, definitely weird.
Casting fly. I'm gonna see if I can see anything.
Vesryn's still staying in Bladesong. He's dancing around with the moves in case something else comes out for a minute.
So Hibley's gonna go for Hibley's gonna cast fly.
Yep, without warm, just gonna cast fly.
Yep. So you cast that, and it again. As you saw, obviously everybody's been talking around you about magic not working. Yours seems to work fine. The trees, you're now noticing, like it gets very dense as you're flying upwards. There's like 120 foot, 140 foot trees, and the section you're in seems to be a lower area in the forest as you fly upwards. You rise up to maybe 200, 300 feet, and you're able to see out a good distance southwards, eastwards, westwards, northwards. As you look around, instantly you would note the coastline to the north. Maybe a few days, but you can you can sort of see where the land dips down towards the sea. This forest is huge. You're talking from where you are right now, your fastest way out of the forest would be east, and you're talking maybe a day and a half. It goes on for maybe a week to the west, and about half a week north and south. Is there anything you want to look for specifically?
Well, like any signs of life. So I mean, like a city or anything else like that. Like something that would be like,
so I'd
any
say
kind of sort of city.
In the distance, you can see a big city. You would deem only visible at this distance because of its size, but you are talking a few weeks south.
So okay, so it's south. Okay, so a few weeks south.
Okay. I would say in this forest itself, you are seeing trails of smoke. The nearest trail of smoke is also south, but maybe a few miles. There are others sort of out east, maybe 10 miles. There's one out, 2 or 3 out to the west. You would easily be able to tell them as campfires or fires of that nature. It's like clean smoke.
So to have it correct, so a few miles south, I see smoke, right? So a few miles south, the fastest way to get out of the forest is east, which would be a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there's also are there other campfires to the east too, or just see the smoke?
So there's one smoke a campfire to the east, and you see 2 or 3 to the west, but they're not together. They are sort of spread out. Different. But just at this height, you'd be able to see them fairly clearly.
Okay.
I have a theory I want to test.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else crazy that would note being up there? Or I just see like nothing else.
I would say, looking out, the land does look populated. I'd say you can tell there's animals, there's wildlife, there's growth. You can see in a good distance a range of mountains. But we're talking a good few weeks. Again, I only can see them because of the height and the fact that you would say that this area seems to be quite low. The whole forest seems to be quite low in comparison to some of the other land masses.
Okay. All right. I will slowly fly back down.
Oh, there's Sipley.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on him the entire time. I'm used to falling out.
Yeah, worried about something like shooting him up there.
Yeah, first time he's flown without being attacked.
Yeah.
You should have told me. I'd have put some zombie crows up there or something.
While Hipley was up there, I'm going to be ritual casting alarm around the people that are here. Now I know alarm is an abjuration spell, and I'm curious because detect magic is a divination spell. Okay. So I want to see if we can put an alarm so we know if anybody messes with these people, but 2, if the magic works because it's not divination.
Okay, so you begin doing this ritual cast of alarm, and each of them does seem to work.
All right. I believe that the table is tied to magic that is connected to divination, which makes sense because the table itself seems to deal with divination, which is why my detect magic didn't work and turn the candle on.
Okay.
Well, the rest of our spells worked, so.
Yeah, I guess if it's that you believe is supposed to amplify someone using it for divination, it makes sense it'd want to use divination.
I am seriously considering lighting the candles with more of my divination magic and doing the blood and seeing if it opens up something.
I mean, I really want to see what happens too.
But I don't want to do anything if the rest of you are against the idea.
I can always just call you out like I did last time. You wanted to
try
try something weird.
Let's a few more people dying anyways, right? I mean, we've already killed some other people, so why not?
If I'm the only one in the circle, I think I'd probably be the one that'd be at risk. So
I would say as Vesryn's been sort of theorizing this and talking with the group, Cerridwen, just because you stood directly in front of them and you have that very nice passive, so one of the goblin forms is still there. immediately you'd notice in very nice clothing, not royalty level, but nobility level clothing. Fitted for their size. If they were meated and properly healthy, it might fit. The other goblin is just a pile of black ash, but still these clothes have been left. And again, noting very nice nobility level clothing. The third figure seems to be some sort of warrior dressed in basic armor made of leather straps and furs.
Okay, so to clarify, the goblin was wearing noble clothing. Okay.
It was hard to tell in their dirty, ragged state, but just sort of as it's lying there, there's just your passive's too good not to see it.
She'll bend down and like pull a scrap of it and say, "Wow, this is really nice. I think goblins might have some sort of standing in this place." Just look at this clothing he's managed to have.
And as you pick it up and sort of pull it back, you can see in the back of the collar of the coats that you're sort of pulling up is a name tag with written in it Gibby, Gibbi.
Is that like Gucci? Is it like Gucci, or is it like that's his name and he named his clothes? Is it the brand? Is it the brand of the clothes? Or?
I would say from a very quick look at the other goblin's pile of clothes, you see a similar name tag with Bibby in the back of that one. Bibbi.
Gibby and Bibby. Love it.
Rip Gibby and Bibby.
As you're looking over this, a page of some sort of book falls out of the piece of clothing that you're holding, and very easily it seems to be torn out of a book, and it seems to only be like a title page or something, but you can see that it seems to be called A Journal of the History of Elixia After, and then it's torn.
Like a long pause.
Yeah, it's sort of like you would just from the fonting and stuff. It's like a title page, but it's ripped from like in a diagonal, almost up to the top right from bottom left. And the title begins as A Journal of the History of Elixia After, and then you can't see the rest of the title.
And there's stuff
in like almost just like folded up in the goblin's inner pocket, in Gibby's bit in a pocket.
I'm gonna pull out that piece of paper and look at it. Weird question, but is this my handwriting?
Doesn't look to be. It looks more official print almost, maybe an older style script.
Okay, older script. Journal of a History of Elixia. After.
Like looking over Cerridwen's shoulder, like after what? I mean, under. I forgot your soul.
Is there anything on the back of the page?
No, it doesn't seem to be. It seems like a solo, like you would imagine the very first page of a book.
Great, and it's to clarify, it's a like. It's they don't have printing presses unless we so it looks like it doesn't. It looks like
it looks it's just nicely calligraphied. If it's as printed as we get in those days.
Yeah,
proper illuminators. Just
yeah. There's a monk in a cave somewhere just making 40 copies.
I'm gonna pocket that. Well, I'll show it to Vesryn because he's from Elixia. Well, we have someone here that's from, home. She holds out the paper to him. Found it on the goblins.
What? Vesryn was like really thinking about how he's going to do the spells and everything. Maybe they're not from home. Maybe like how we have the Book of Reveus. Maybe somebody here has a book about Elixia. From their end.
Maybe. I'm just thinking, could maybe be someone that, how, remember how Reveus is supposed to be part of Elixia? and then it kind of like got put up, teleported out or whatnot. I think it might be someone from that time or passed down.
And this is Elixia to them.
Oh.
Maybe they're saying this is what happened here once they came here.
I'm gonna fill everyone in on what happened.
We should search the area where these things came from, where this one came from, and see if maybe the book is over there, or in any of their belongings.
Hipley flew up. What did you see from out there, Hipley?
Big forest. That's really big forest actually. A lot of walking to get out of this wonderful place that we've landed in. East is the quickest route out, but there's some smoke. Looks like probably campfires. Some to the east, some to the south. Looks like there's a pretty large city to the south, but that would take us at least a few weeks to get to. But to get out of this forest, it'd be pretty quick if we go through the east, and there are some fires, so might as well go there. I mean, probably some life.
If we go to the nearest fire, and if we're lucky and they're friendly, we'd be able to give us some more grounding here.
So, Vesryn, just go over for me what you are going to do, and then make me an Arcana, but I want to hear what you're going to do first.
Well, I would probably, let me see here. I'm trying to look at my divination magic that I have. I may really only have like detect magic as divination. I'd have to really look. Let's see here. But I mean, if anything, I would cast it I'd make sure I'm inside the circle, make sure I cast them until all the candles were lit.
Okay.
And at that point, I would slice my hand to put a little bit of blood, or even prick, or whatever I need. Because I know you said it was just a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Whatever I would know to be probably what I need to put in there to see if I activate it.
Okay, so are you ritual casting or casting? Detect magic.
Ritual casting.
Okay, so we're going to be here a little bit of time. So while we'll get to what's happening here, and then I want to cover what the rest are doing, because it will be 40 minutes for you to fill the rest of the candles.
I would say I would suggest before I do it that we might want to get all the dead bodies together and either prepare to bury them, or, I mean, I don't really think it's nice just to leave them all here after what happened to them.
Are we able to move them? Because I think it was mentioned.
Are the dead bodies frozen too? Oh, the dead bodies are frozen too? Oh, okay. I thought it was just the living people that were frozen.
No, everybody's.
Good to know.
I wonder why it was just us.
So yes, so there's 40 minutes of you casting and lighting, and you finally get to the point, and you cut your hand and you let it drip into the bowl. You feel it activate, and then there's just like a waiting, and you can feel the energy's there. There's something else you need to do. You sort of like stood there like you've had this feeling before as you begin an incantation or a long-winded ritual. You feel the energy building, and as you sort of nothing happens after sort of 1-2 minutes, the energy fades again.
One thing I would try to do is like focus on something I want to divine as I feel the energy, and I would try to divine where her son might be.
Okay, so you're thinking you can feel the energy, but it doesn't seem to push towards the divine. I'd say with that time, the others looking around. So obviously, you know that I would say that very easily Hipley could determine that the smoke to the west, to the east, is maybe about 7 miles. The smoke to the south is about 3. Decis, very easily, you'd be able to see that all 3 sets of tracks from the zombified people came from the south.
I'm gonna walk up to one of the stones. I'm gonna most likely Dwen's mom, because she's the only one that I would know. So I'm just gonna walk up and match that she's tall too. Like Dwen's pretty tall, so match that she's tall. So I'm gonna look up, just look deep into her eyes and do detect thoughts. So I'm just gonna go, just kind of glance, just kind of look and see if I kind of get anything.
Let me take a quick look at that. I love this investigating. Okay, so again, you begin to cast the spell, To confirm, it is a spell, correct? Not just an ability.
It's one of my abilities, so I'm using the ability, but I can use a spell slot. I'm just using the ability because I'm telepathic. So
sorry, just to confirm, is it as the spell? Does the ability work as the spell? Sorry,
yes,
that's
it
the last
does.
one.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah. My bad.
You begin to use it, and again, you feel the energy just like leave, and then you don't get any feeding on one of the candles. I imagine it's in the 40 minutes that you're ritual casting. So Vesryn, you don't have to cast one less, as that divination spell is also sucked. Even though you would note you are outside the stone circles, but you would be within the clearing. Just for Vesryn's notes, because I know that you'd be looking at those sorts of things.
Yeah, I wouldn't even notice that because I'd be looking to the at the eyes. Okay, so it's getting nothing from it, so I'm just gonna assume nothing. Like, yeah.
I would say just looking over them though, again, the ones that are alive definitely seem alive. They're not like paled in the skin. There's no like bloodshotness in the eyes. They do just seem frozen.
Can I just try to pick one up?
Yeah, so you try and pick one up, and again, you put your hands around, and it's just like as if they're bolted to the grass beneath them.
Well, we don't need to worry about him toppling over.
It's good.
He was kind of worried about.
Just come back to jigsaw pieces.
Yeah, just jigsaw, like arms on the ground.
The final challenge is a 100-piece jigsaw with your friends and family.
Yeah, not terrifying at all.
Honestly, they feel safer than we do right now.
Yeah, in a weird way, you're right. I agree.
If we can't penetrate whatever it is holding them, then they may end up outliving us if anything happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also take out my sword and just kind of like use it really, really gently on like someone's like clothing to see if I can like cut them cloth. She wants to see if they can be hurt with like weapons right now. That's what she's trying to figure out.
Okay, yeah. So you take a dagger. A few of you maybe take daggers and try to cut ribbons off and stuff. No, you slice and it almost makes like metal on metal sound.
Oh, sorry. Well,
all right.
They're pretty impervious right now, so I think they're actually safe.
Well, I mean, I could send Soul out to investigate and maybe see if there's anybody at the village. If we want to go in the other direction.
Well,
So we got the town south, and then the forest. Quickest way out of the forest is west.
East.
East. Okay.
and of the fires that Hipley noted closest to us, the east one is roughly 7 miles. The south one is roughly 3, but those goblins came from the south.
Why do you want to go south? I want to know more about this book that they have.
Yes, I agree. Plus, I have the alarm up around them, so if anything interacts with people here, I mean, we won't be able to respond right away, but at least we'll know that it's happening, and we can head back here as quickly as possible. The alarm should be up for I believe 8 hours. Let me double check that. I'm pretty confident that's what it is.
I believe that is correct.
Yes, 8 hours. So at least we know if somebody comes here for the next 8 hours.
All right. Are we ready to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so, what sort of order would you be traveling in? And is there anything anybody's going to be doing specifically on the journey?
I could probably take lead as I have a really decent survival and perception. So I'll probably take point just to watch for anything that could be dangerous or just to lead us in a correct path southward to where Hipley points out.
I'll
And
take the rear.
Okay.
I'll be in the middle, but I'll have Soul out, also flying ahead and kind of scouting, and I'll be looking through Soul's eyes and having my arm on like Cerridwen, so that way she can like squeeze me if something's going on, so I know to come back. But that way I can use Soul to scout ahead as well.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm in the middle.
Okay, perfect. Hipley in the middle as well.
I'll be in the
Is there
back.
any towards the back? Okay,
Yeah.
No worries.
I'll be
So
loud again.
you guys begin making your way southwards. Obviously, Vesryn, you're going to get any information early, but obviously, I assume immediately relayed to the group.
Yeah. Anything I'm seeing, I'm saying it as we're, even though I can't hear them, I can at least tell them what I'm seeing. So.
Yeah, not a problem. So as you guys are making your way forwards, you're traveling for about an hour before Vesryn catches anything different. It's, just like forest. It all looks very the same. You could imagine getting lost in here very easily if it wasn't for Desis leading up, following the tracks with ease. About the hour mark, and maybe just 100 feet, 150 feet ahead, because sorry, what form is the familiar right now?
It's I have a like a baby phoenix kind of thing. That's what we have.
That's sweet. So up ahead, they can see the beginning of a clearing and a large hut in the center of the clearing with a small bit of smoke coming out of the chimney stack.
When I'll relay what I'm seeing to them, obviously, as I said, when she gets closer, she will kind of like land on a branch far enough away just to kind of scan the area, but then do a quick sweep around just to see if there's anything of
Okay, so the very first thing of note that you would notice about this clearing is it's cut into a square. You note the trees, that there are 9 trees that denote almost the points: northeast, southwest, northeast, northeast, southwest, east, southeast, northeast. Each of those points is sort of denoted by a very large tree, but every other tree in the clearing has been purposefully cut away. You can see the hut in the middle seems to have almost like a trodden area around it that seems to have been trodden down into mud, and that area is marked by small stones placed along the floor. You would very easily be able to see outside of the front, there is a large set of steps leading up to 2 double doors, and just to the right of that are a few hay bales and hay sticks, scarecrows for training with. You can see like a bucket on one of the heads with like 2 arrows sticking out of it. That seem to be some sort of makeshift training ground. The windows all seem shut. You can see 6 windows, sort of again placed fairly well spread around to look out, but all of them seem barred, and the doors currently seem shut.
You said there's trees on each of the corners that are tall. Do they look like watchtower kind of thing, like tree?
No, as you sort of scan up them, they don't see. There's no real like building into it. There's no cutting. They look, I would say, naturally grown, if not for this odd size compared to the trees next to. They're almost like older than the trees they're immediately left and right of. I would say that Desis, with your just knowledge, druidic knowledge, there's definitely some level of that. A druid has helped these trees grow like this.
All right. So Soul will just kind of perch there, and I'll pop in to Soul's vision as we get closer, but like pop out and just kind of focus, but like leave Soul there to just kind of observe while we're coming up.
Yep, not a problem. Go ahead. If there's anything there.
Do you guys think we should go knock on the door?
How far away are we from it now?
I would say that you guys are maybe, so you're about 100 feet, but you're walking forwards as you're having this conversation.
I'm going to sneak to be 30 feet in front of it and do mage hand and knock on the door.
Okay. Obviously, the rest of you will sort of see this happening. Are you just going to, how would you like to position yourselves as you see Hipley moving forward, ready to knock on a door?
With mage hand.
Yeah.
I'm standing by one of the trees. Like, I'm out in the open, but if things go bad, I want to be able to duck behind it. Like, but I don't want to seem threatening. Non-threatening, but ready for cover.
Sword out, but not like, to stab somebody.
Yeah.
I'll be directly behind Hitley. I'll just be like at his shoulder, basically.
No worries.
We're gonna be behind a tree, I guess.
Would you like to actively hide behind a tree or just take cover behind the tree?
What is everyone else doing? Are we hiding or are we like?
The rest of them don't seem to be hiding. They like Vesryn's more taking cover by a tree, but stood in the open so that they're not visibly hiding.
Okay, yeah, she'll
some
take
rations.
cover behind a tree.
No worries. And Desus?
Well, taking note of kind of how I feel this place has been built, I'm staying fairly open, and I'm super bright and colorful, so I'm noticeable. So I could at least draw attention to me if everyone needs a chance to either hide or get advantage point. But I'm gonna just be off to the side.
I have one hand on my rope dart in a threatening but non-threatening way.
Yeah, casually placing my hand on it.
Prepare to be threatening.
Yeah.
Swinging it coolly.
Yeah. It's like half intimidation, half awesome check.
Oh yeah.
If Hipley, as you float the mage hand forwards and knock, just the slightest knock, and you all see the door just like forwards with the force. After a moment, there's no sound, no response.
Do you want to check it or should I?
I'm all off board. I'm
All
so
right.
welcome board.
Okay, so you make your way forwards. As I said, so you step. There's maybe about 30 foot from the edge of the clearing. The ground sort of becomes this trodden, muddy grass rather than the nicer grass that seems to have been almost preserved around the edges of it. And you can make your way up the wooden steps. As the door is ajar, do you have dark vision?
No, I do
Okay,
not.
so inside, I would say that you can see the outline of some sort of sofa highlighted in. There is definitely a fire in there, but you would guess embers just by the very small orange.
Is it daytime right now? I forgot. I mean, is it evening?
It
I
is.
forget.
It is about midday, but all the
Okay.
windows are shuttered with like wooden.
Well, so I'm gonna open the door to hopefully let as much light in as I can. I don't know if that's gonna help. I don't know what angle we're at, so I'm gonna open the door just so like all the light, natural light can kind of go in there. So
Okay,
it's kind of.
so give me a perception as you push open that door.
Ew, that's not good. That's not bad. Perception. That's going to be a. What is that? A 15.
Okay, so you push open the door and immediately you're hit by an odd, not nice, not good, not bad, but also not good smell. After a second, you sort of place it as like lime salt. I'm not sure what your character might have experienced, but in terms of definitely covering up, it's almost like a chemical to cover up something worse, if that makes sense. So you're smelling like the pungent sweetness, but there's still something there that it isn't quite covering. You can see immediately on the left is a very large armchair. A sort of armchair that two humans could very easily fit in side by side. There is a bunch of broken furniture that seems to have been cleaned to one side. You're seeing like the remnants of a table and a chair. There is a desk at the back of the room there's a bunch of notes that seem to have been like shuffled together but not stacked.
Kind of messy.
Like
Okay.
like they're in piles, but they're not like neat piles. They're just somebody's just shuffled everything together. And finally, on the right hand side is a very large bed that is also like snapped in the middle and pressed inwards. On the floor in front of you is what appears to be the fur of a large, bearing on huge bear that has been skinned and placed as a rug in the center of this room. The room itself is maybe 40 feet radius. The house is a circle, sorry, I should be clear. About 40 feet radius. The bear rug itself takes up about a 20 by 20 space in the center of this room. Pushing it open, you can see the fire.
We got that lodge kind of taste. Okay.
You can see in the back corner, there is this fireplace that leads up to the chimney above. And again, what you imagine is just the embers of, there has been a fire here recently, but whoever was here has let it go out or has not tended to it within the last hour or so, I would say.
Okay. All right. Well, at least nothing dangerous. So, Jay, I don't know if they came with me or not. I don't know if they're there.
Yeah, I'm right by you.
Oh.
Jada and I are both.
Oh, you're very. Wow, you're both very sneaky.
What?
Well, as you can see, there's nothing No one's here. I mean, does anyone smell that? It smells. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird kind of smell. I don't know what.
Just
Not-
so I can
not
ask,
bad,
obviously, sorry to interrupt.
There you go. Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Do any of the characters have extensive experience with sort of the cremating or the process of death in your respective religions and cultures?
Hipley wouldn't. I don't think he would.
Don't we burn our
No.
bodies in Elixia?
You do.
Don't we burn them?
Yeah.
Yeah, we burn them.
Okay.
Well,
So
most
you wouldn't have-
Elixir, yes.
Okay, yeah, you wouldn't have come across quite this, but it does just sort of remind you of like trying to cover up a bad smell and not quite achieving it.
Oh. They it smells like lime. You sometimes use it to try to cover up smells or. Wow, yeah, there is something under that still. She looks around and
Jesus,
that-
maybe if you can do that, turn into a dog again, maybe you can sniff something out. Apologies if that's rude, but I just know that you've done that before. So if you,
I kind of duck out into the doorway as I stayed outside, like,
it's safer. I mean, I'm not dead. I don't think so. I
I
mean,
could definitely change to something, but maybe something that might be a little more protective than a dog. And I take note of the bear rug, and I step out a
giant bear
bit,
rug.
and I'm gonna take form of a black bear.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
air. I'm into it.
So, oh, go
Okay.
ahead.
I was gonna say,
No,
Vesryn,
no,
just stay outside while they're doing it,
Mhm.
and have Soul watching one direction, and like give me a sign if anything comes, and I'm gonna be watching the other direction. Just that way they can search without us getting jumped.
Yeah, not a problem. Go ahead and describe your transformation, Thesis.
So as I focus myself in, just the stars kind of shoot from the freckles off my skin out and create the silhouette of that bear pattern, and I just in a flash of light form into that black bear. Just like,
Nice. So give me a perception at advantage. As you see this bear turn into form and start shuffling its way around the room, what would the rest of you like to do? You can see now both of the wooden doors are open, and you all will be able to see into the contents of this room.
Can someone put a light on, please? Can someone? I can't make.
Yeah,
like
I can.
zero
She's gonna pull out
skills.
her lantern, light it.
my perception total is 17.
Okay. So there's again, to Decis's mind, it's again nothing you've really come across. There's almost a level of like instinct that kicks in through that. That's like gone off meat, shouldn't eat that. And as you sniff around,
You do a
get
good
to
bear.
As you sniff around, you get to the extremely large armchair, and as Cerridwen's sort of lighting their lantern and illuminating the room, you can see a human-ish wet patch that looks soaked into the actual armchair. And as you get closer and give it a sniff, like, yeah, there was a dead body there recently.
Just big paw up, and I push over the chair.
Oh, what did you?
Ew.
Oh,
As they
yeah.
push over the chair, it's like properly like, you know, when a chair's been sat in the wrong position for too long and it just doesn't reshape. Even as it turns over, the shape of this sunken human is still just pressed into the armchair itself.
Well, that would be the smell. Something died in here. What's that?
You know, is death following us, or are we following death? I mean, really? I mean,
That's a good question.
I'm gonna.
Now with the light on, anybody wanting to look around can give me perceptions or investigation, depending on which you would prefer, to start taking a deeper look around this room.
at 20 investigation, and I'm proficient in it.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm a bear.
I got a 16 if that helps.
Your grandmother. Yeah. All dice rolls help. Anything from Cerridwen?
Yeah, I rolled a 9 plus 18 perception.
Okay. So Jada and Cerridwen, you're looking around and almost like everything looks very bare and left. The only thing to you guys that stands out as like there is something there is the desk full of notes. And you both sort of go over looking. In your list of languages, do you speak Giant, Cerridwen?
Yep.
Okay.
Giant.
And I think Hipley does too, right?
Giant? Oh no.
No, you don't. Oh.
No.
I mean,
Unless you
either
want
way.
me to.
Jada, do you happen to read Giant?
Giant? No, I don't think so.
Okay, not a problem. So you can see that there is a large pile of mixed up notes that don't seem to be in any order. You definitely get the impression that almost like these notes were like tossed in the air and then recollected back up. There's like no order to them. You're getting like page 1 with a date on it, and then the next date's like 4 months later, and there's journals here and notes and recipes, and it doesn't make sense. The majority of it is in Giant. There are a handful of sections that seem to be in common. Looking over the ones in common, they look to be very, very scruffy, almost somebody learning, a child writing. And just as you pick one of these up, Jada, and take a look, you would see just on this bit of paper in very, very large, scruffy writing, my name is Gibby. My brother is Bibby. We live in our home with Thrangle in the forest. And it just, they're almost like repeating out lines as if somebody was teaching them how to write common. And you're sort of seeing like, you know, A's, that sort of classic writing out. The ones in Giant seem to be mostly the notes of one person. Assumably this Thrangle. They don't ever really refer to themselves, but then all the notes in Goblin, in Common, seem to refer to a Thrangle of some sort. The other writing, while it is in Giant, it seems a lot neater, a lot more formed. You would say somebody of at least a teenager upwards, rather than what looked more like a child handwriting. A lot of that just talks about life in the forest. They live here, they hunt around here. It notes like good hunting spots. You would see notes of a Trilak clan that lived to the south, a Mankill clan that lived to the north. Notes about their relationship with them. The Thrangle seem to have good working trading relationships with the tribes in the area. I would say that, so you're looking through this, you gather there is a lot here. With the roles and just sort of with the amount you've got in front of you, you're sort of like where to start almost in this pile of mixed up, because there's no nice, here's this date, let's go from here. You're sort of like trying to piece bits together. As you are doing that, my apologies, Blake. Hipley, thank you very much. Hipley, like very first thing, you step into the room and there's like and like trapdoor under that rug, for sure. You sort of move your way through with that nat 20, and I would say that you very quickly pick out a number of hiding spots. There is like a loose floorboard right at the back of the house that you move it aside, and you find more of these notes that are written in like a very childish common handwriting. Under the rug, you see this trapdoor. Very easily, you just sort of lift the rug in it, and there's just a slightly larger than medium creature, but not too much. And finally, you find a small loose floorboard with a box inside it under the bed. You can see the floorboard because where the bed is broken, it is like propping the board. But to access it, you would need help moving the bed.
How big is the box? Is it small or is it
So the box, you can see that it must be small because you're sort of catching the corner of it through the cracked floorboard, but from the piece of floorboard that you can see you would need to remove, the box can't be much bigger than like a jewelry box.
Because I was gonna try to use mage and see if I can like finagle it out of there, but it might be too much pressure on it probably.
I would say too much pressure with the bed. You imagine lifting the bed, you could very easily get Mage Hand to pull it out. It doesn't look too big for Mage Hand to handle, but with the bed pressing on top, as it is right now, you would struggle.
So I'm gonna hurt my back, try really quickly, be like, oh,
just the occasional
throw my back out. Yeah, can you get Jesus and say something out there, Mike? I think I throw my back. Can you Lift that. I think there's something under there.
Prod on over. And kind of like
Yeah.
do that cute little bear 2 feet, just like.
No.
But then I duck back down, put my head right under the bed, and.
Well, okay, I could have done that too, but.
And I'd say in its broken form, if you're not trying to be careful, in bear form, you very easily shift it aside and you sort of leave it in two halves on one side, revealing this broken floorboard that at one point you imagine was slightly hidden, but with the damage is now fairly visible.
That was wonderful. That was perfect. I'm gonna walk up and just kind of grab the box very gently and see and open it up if I can.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't seem to have any obvious lock on it. You open up the box, and it can only be what is described as like knickknacks. There's like buttons and shiny pebbles and little things like that. The two things of more note than just those things. You see a wicker toy, and it looks almost humanoid build, but it's built almost stockier. And you can see sort of there's long arms, and it's sort of a little bit larger again. And it has a ribbon tied around its neck, and on the ribbon is written Thrangle. And there is also a small book, which upon picking up with that investigation, you would see the full title of A Journal of the History of Elixia After the Sundering by one Idarvag Sagewynd.
Like, look at the book. Look at Dwen.
Just like in a pile of paper.
Yeah, like giant.
Trying to she's trying to just organize it. This is by this date. What?
Oh, sorry. I think this belongs to you. I hand doing the book.
What?
And I think there are definitely some kids here. I mean, all this other stuff I found too. But if I imagine that, was it Threndel? Was that in common, or was that in Giant?
So Thrangle was written in common, but it was written from the perspective
of a kid.
Of Gibby and Bibby.
Okay.
I would say from the extra notes that you found in the little hidden space, you could deem that there's the extra space at the back of the hut seems to belong to the goblins. And again, it's just more writings. You get very much from reading over it. Gibby was a lot more passionate about learning to write than Bibby was. Gibby did a lot of the writing for her brother. They talk much about how they ran away when they were attacked. Their tribe was attacked, and they were found by Thrangle. Thrangle's very nice. It seems very much childish note taking of the day, learning to write and excited about it, sort of thing.
Would you guys have shared the names of the goblins? Did you guys share that, or would Hipley know? That's the names of them. I don't know if we even discussed. Okay.
It was said out loud when they pulled up the clothing. Yeah.
I'm gonna
My top.
Well, we got amongst here we have just it looks like there was a giant, I'm assuming, who lived here with Hippie and Bibby.
Probably the guy in the seat, or whoever they were, probably that marking.
Yeah, probably that. And then she looks at the book, and I'm gonna take out the piece of paper and look to see if the paper was taken from the book.
Yeah, as you open it up.
What was the first name? What was the first name?
Sorry.
On the book.
Idarvag, so that's Idarwag. And then Sagewynd as it is. For Dwin.
Oh.
Yes, you can see the very first page is torn out. Taking a quick flick through, it seems to be a recounting of the tale. Notes by, sorry, I'm going to butcher this name, Isgwain, and sort of it looks like almost the notes taking for our book. if that makes sense. There's like titles, and one of the potential titles that they've like listed. And listed and underlined is The Longhorn History of Elixia, Volume 1. You see that sort of noted on the side. It details basically the adventures of this Idarvag. I'm struggling with that name. Idarvag Sagewynd. The Elixia is hidden. You read that the Elixia is hidden somewhere in the Elixian wilds. There's an odd place that roads seem to run through the area but change. They can't quite put the finger on it. There's lots of it's more of like a first person of this adventure. It would take you a little bit longer to read through full details, but just as a quick flick through, it seems legit.
Really interesting. No, she'll point to the note that says like the Longhorn history. My family has been writing the Longhorn history of Elixia for I don't know how long. We're in I wrote volume 31. So, and I was drafting 32, but then I sort of went off Elixia. So, wow, this goes so far back. And she's just really intrigued by the book, and
as you're looking over it, I'd say very quickly you could determine that there's one chapter in particular that talks very much about sort of Idarvag. Specifically about them being a Firbolg, about where they grew up and how they trained and all these sorts of things. These pages seem to have been read a lot. Like the binder is bent for these pages to be opened on, and almost like thumbed in the corner. Out of all the rest of the book, it is quite old but well maintained. But these pages in particular have been read over a number of times.
I'm gonna. Basically, like, can I infer that they got the training ground idea from this chapter?
What, sorry?
Can I infer that they got the idea for the training grounds outside from this chapter?
Similarly, yeah, there is a little bit of that that sort of vibe set up, almost a little bit of hero worship, you could imagine. There's and I would say actually, because you were looking at the giant, there is sort of talk about, I must train to be stronger. I must be, more brave in my actions. There is definitely whoever wrote the notes on the table in Giant was comparing themselves to this person in the book almost. As you're sort of going over this, Vesryn, your familiar gives you a mental squeaky. And you take a look.
It never did that when I do, but that's cooler. I may start using that forever.
Squeaky.
A mental squeaky. And you flick into their eyes. They are currently perched quite high up, maybe 50, 60 feet to the south. And another 50, 60 feet on from them, there are 5 figures approaching.
I lean in the door. It's still in my eyes, but I know where the door was, so I just kind of lean over. It looks like we have company. 5 individuals coming our way. So from me, are they like 60, or is it further?
There may be about 100 from you, from the door of the huts. Mm-hmm. There's maybe 50 feet until Sol, and then another 50, 60 until the group.
And I will relay this. So, and they're behind. This coming from behind the house, right?
From even further south. Yeah, the door is on the north side. I would say very easily from you can quickly tell that 4 of the figures are smaller than the 5th. The 4 seem to be similar sizes. It's hard to tell at this distance exactly what they are. You can see 2 of them are currently arms full of like firewood. Mm-hmm. Sort of traipsing towards. One of them is holding like a bundle of what looks to be rabbits or small game bird or something. The 2 in the front seem to be conversing back and forth, just out of earshot, but you can hear the conversation. They're like the back and forth speech.
Yeah, so I will relay it to you guys and say we should probably step outside. If this is their home, we may not want to just look like we're stealing from them.
I look at the bed.
I mean, we don't know who they are.
Chair.
I haven't been inside. You
Been
remember, I didn't look
sleeping
in there.
my bed.
Prod over
Remember-
trying to.
To be clear,
The
Vesryn
chair
didn't
went
say that
inside.
you shouldn't do sabotage on the place. Just steal.
Just saying. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the plan? I would say they're not walking fast.
I'm gonna put the.
But they're going to be on you in the next 30 seconds to a minute.
I'm gonna put the box back in the hole where I found it.
Okay, book inside, or is Cerridwen still got book?
Well,
I'm keeping it.
yeah.
It's just like
I'm not gonna take away from.
I'm
Glenn,
gonna
so.
take this.
So I'm gonna put the box back though where it was found.
Okay.
I don't want to drop my bear form, so I'm just gonna
And I'm gonna walk outside.
bear prod over to Cerridwen and just kind of bite a bit on the hem of her skirt and just look like I'm suckling on the end of her skirt.
Oh, he gets strokes, head pats.
So
All right, we're going.
I would say because you're almost blocked by the house from their side, so you would hear them before you fully see them, and you can hear them entering the clearing. You can hear one of them, Thrangle, you need to understand. It had to happen like that. Do not worry. Please calm yourself.
I don't.
Do we all
I
hear
don't-
that?
You will all hear this. So you're stood at the door on the north side. They're entering from the south side of the clearing, but you can hear this clearly.
I don't think dead is ever a good solution. You should have told me. We could have found another way. Why would you do that to me?
I didn't know exactly that they were going to die, but they were going to get in our way eventually. We look for the good of us, and
They were my
we need to
friends.
we need to look out for ourselves. Thrangle, you must.
You
take
need to
your
look
mind
out for
away from
yourself.
things. No, Thrangle, I am looking after us. They would be sort of
can I
still
see 'em?
walking.
I
would say-
understand. I understand. It just made me feel terrible that it would happen to. I was protecting them. They were with me, and then everybody else there too.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you would see, you don't see the two that are speaking, but sort of flanking on the far right side, you see one of the ones holding a pile of wood sort of coming into view around the left side of the house.
I wanna. If I can see the one that's saying like, "Oh, they had to die," like when I Eldritch Blast them. Like someone's trying to stop me, but if I can see that person, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast. Because if I can put two together, would I be able to know that they're talking about the two goblins that got killed, right? Would I be able to piece that together by saying like, "Oh, they had to die"? Like, would I be able to? Could I do intelligence? Because if not, I won't.
I will allow you to make any assumptions you wish to make. I'm fine with you if Blake feels Hipley would put that together, I am down with that being put together. You do what you feel. I would say that the person holding the log would see you, but not before you would get sight of the person speaking. If you wish to loose. Before you loose, I will quickly describe. The rest of you will see 4 humans and 1 Firbolg. The Firbolg is maybe about 30 years old. However, Cerridwen, you have never known something more than that is your son. As you look at them and they're stepping forwards, there is just something in your gut that you just know. The other 4 humans are that mix of scruffy neat, if you get like street chic. They are scruffy leather clothing, but like the long black coats, and their hair's tied and they've got multiple earrings. They look, for anyone that might have been around it, a little bit thuggish. And the one that is speaking has like a long flowing sort of coat on with extra little designs on it, but all of them seem to be wearing some form of leather underneath. As one of them is like dropping the wood, like, "Hey, who are you?" As Hipley is.
Not the Firbolg though, right? Because like I would like
Yeah.
cry. Okay. Because I'm
Firbolg
like,
is being spoken to.
we found your son. I hit him. Like no.
Yeah, no. The man that you are shooting at seems to have like half of his hair shaved with the other half pulled over. 6 piercings in one ear, but fresh on the other. A tattoo down the neck. Looks a little bit better dressed than the other 3. but still that same sort of like aesthetic. And you can see he's almost mid like, look, Thrang, I appreciate it, and honestly, I will make it up to you as you.
Both and see if I can.
You will have advantage.
Ooh, advantage? Ooh, thank God. Okay.
Hiding.
I need that advantage. Okay.
Because he is not expecting this.
Let's see. Okay, so first one. Oh, thank God. So one's gonna hit because even with advantage. So I'm gonna hit with a. So it's gonna be a 22. Would that hit?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only gonna be D10, so I'm not that powerful. It's not gonna do much, but hey. Ooh, 10. That's 10
nice.
points.
Not that powerful max damage.
So you release it, almost curving it around the circumference of the house, striking this figure who is this? Thrangle, they're attacking us. Get him, boys, get him, we will leave. And almost like hand on the shoulder of Thrangle, pulling back towards, who you would notice is almost like staring in like a level of shock and awe at Cerridwen. But almost being like pulled back in the shock of it. Before we get started on this initiative, I am going to quickly ask how do breaks? Do we not? Is there normally
What's
mid?
a break? We do breaks.
Break is the end. Break is when we stop.
We should take a quick one. I mean, it is. We've been running 2 hours. Give everybody a chance to use the restroom, whatever.
If that is okay, I'm gonna grab a drink and. But no, perfect. Oh, guys, this is so fun.
How long? Like 5 minutes? I'm gonna set a
literally grab a
What's a
drink and.
Gotcha.
I know, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm normally all down for that, but it's like 3:10 in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know how you do this, man. I'd be asleep. Like I don't know how you function.
Well, I said this to Zeal. I am a regular all-nighter. I just do this for funsies sometimes. But no, I'm all down. I will be back momentarily.
All right.
Okay.
See, I will leave you. I know, a break. How weird.
What do we do on a break?
too.
Yeah,
I think she's on my initiative,
you're
actually.
You're right at the bottom of my notes. I apologize, Cerridwen. Cerridwen.
Thank you, Silent Pages.
Yeah.
We had no sound. Damn.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's give him a quick recap.
Well, we didn't do too much, though, to be honest. I mean,
We didn't.
not
We started
too
a
crazy.
Hipley started a fight.
Yeah, we
Yeah, Hipley started a fight.
Started a fight. There's been some stops and starts.
We've been trying to convince Chelsea to stay, but his human buddies are like, "Let's get out of here. They're trying to kill us." And so now we're trying
Trust.
to.
And then
Now we're trying.
And our actions aren't helping.
and Jada tangled me with her rope,
Come on, Dwayne, convince your son.
dart rope.
I'm just gonna she pulls out her sword and then she's gonna throw it on the ground and say, "Please, let me talk to Taliesin. I've been looking for him for so long."
Who's Taliesin? Where are you? Do you know Taliesin, Polly?
I've never heard of them. They're confusing. You are confused.
In your mind, and this is why I'm going to say quickly top out of the you're Taliesin. It's not going to work. So
I have known Thrangle since he was a boy. He has lived in this forest. I have looked after him. Yes, Thrangle? And he is still sort of pulling you, but sort of like he's almost trying to make you combat their logic.
If they killed Bibby, they're going to do the same
tell
to
him
you.
your last name. Tell him your last name.
I'm going to let him pull me a little bit, but I'm not going to just let go and be pulled all the way. Because I am torn between both things, both places.
All right, all right. I'm gonna look at that map. Does the name of Sagewynd mean anything to you?
The author,
Yes.
the writer of the books,
Yes.
or of the book.
Yes.
How do you know that name?
I'm a Sagewynd.
And I push Polly away.
Okay.
What do you mean you're a
At seeing the
Sagewynd?
push away, and as you start to go, what do you mean you're a Sagewynd? Pauli, I would say again, Cerridwen and Thesis would see them reach into their pocket, pull out some sort of device, and activate it, and the entire area of the clearing just fills with fog.
Can I counterspell that, or is it
You can counterspell that.
counterspell?
I would need a roll from you.
All right.
Come on.
Roll for it.
I gotta get over there because I'm trying to remember what I gotta roll for this. It's
Spellcast. It's an ability check.
yeah, it's 10 plus I gotta roll it, and it's my. I just have my.
It's just
my
it's just your ability
my
modifier.
intelligence. Yeah, my intelligence modifier. Okay. I rolled a 10, but I have +4, so 14.
Okay, so you wave your hands and you instantly, almost like as you reach out, dissipate the fog. However, you do feel another effect in place that you didn't manage to dispel. As you pass your hand over the fog, there are a number, all of a sudden there's like 5 or 6 bears all around the encampment, growling and snarling and moving towards. It looks towards you, but also looks towards the enemy group. They don't seem to be fighting either side. There's all of a sudden just 6 bears in the clearing.
Jesus talking.
Bears.
As you see Pauli curse, and then they are going
I blow him
to
a kiss.
they are going to try and break the hold Jada has. I'm going to say as Thrangle is resisting, they will make their check with disadvantage. Jada, you make yours flat. Okay.
Come on, Jada.
Oh, you are
Okay.
lucky sons.
What am I making? A strength check?
A grapple, the same as you would with the rope grapple. Whatever
an
roll
attack?
that you did to grapple, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. 15.
Okay, you see they almost managed to get it loose before you adjust grip and tighten it down again. As you see Pauli looking around, again the rain starts to as it starts to rain heavy on the area as we get to Jada's turn. Sorry, Thrangle's turn.
My
Okay,
eyes get very big when I see it starts to rain, because I know what that means here.
So Thrangle, you're going as the rain really starts to pour down.
I start heading towards the new group. You need to get inside before the rain's hard. And I just try and wrap people up and push them into the door.
Like us?
Okay.
Yes, you.
Yeah, he's moving towards your group. You can definitely see like a conflicted look pass across Powley's face as he looks to the other two, nods, and then starts to run southwards. Only makes one movement 30 feet to the south. It would then be Jada's turn. The rope has now gone slack as Taliesin has moved towards you and is now almost ushering you inside.
Are we just gonna let them go? Are we letting them go?
Yeah, let him go.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
I loose the.
I was gonna.
rope. Yeah.
You're what?
I was gonna Eldritch Blast over 120 feet. So, but me and Burgo.
I was gonna do
people
something
are
as well.
open to people are open to do what they do. If Jada can loosen the rope, and would you like to do anything with your action as you easily just unhook your rope?
Nope, I've done nothing this session.
What are you talking about? You held him in place. You kept him here.
Yeah. That was needed seconds to get through to him.
I will.
Are you going to follow his direction to go inside?
He hasn't quite grabbed me, right?
No, he's almost.
If he tries to grab me, I'm gonna duck under. Yeah, I'm gonna just duck under him and wait until everybody's inside. I'll be the last one in. I'll hold my action for whether we get attacked again. If there's danger, I will. What will I do? I'll just. No, I think that that's all I do. Is I'm gonna wait. I'll be the last one in.
Okay.
I want to make sure that everybody's in. And like if Hipley or somebody else decides they want to linger, I'll pull them in.
Your bear needs to come in too.
She's not our bear. I guess right now is a bear.
What?
So, you guys would see after Jada, the one that first shot moves off towards the southwest, doesn't seem to follow Powley's exact path, runs off again towards the clearing. You see they almost like what mechanically you'd know as like double triple move. They like run 90 feet straight into the tree line and are like beelining away as fast as they can. Go on.
Soul is going to follow them and try to keep an eye on them.
Okay, we'll get to which one. So so Powley's gone pure
Polly.
south.
Polly.
Okay, yeah, okay, perfect. But then after Jada, it would be Desis.
Yep, so Beardesis is just gonna get up from the ground and prodle along. Can I smell those? Can I smell those other bears? Or are they still kind of focusing in, or are they starting to?
No, as you sort of look at them, I would say actually, again with your passive. No, it's not you with the crazy passive. Give me a perception with advantage because it's smell as you're trying to give the bears a
Bear smell.
Nat 20.
Bear
Another
smell.
Nat 20 coming. I feel it. Or close at least.
Let's see. It'll still be at least because Druid. So, 16.
Okay, I would say they do smell like bears. They don't smell like this area. Do with that information what you
And I kind of pick up my pace a little bit, and also just in behind Taliesin for anyone that's like going in behind him, just kind of bear-like, almost in a bear hug, trying to push him forward.
Okay, no worries. After that, Cerridwen.
I just go inside.
Yeah, you've got your son sort of ushering you inside all of a sudden.
I mean, shouldn't not gonna fight this, you know. Oh, all right, we'll go inside.
Okay, after Cerridwen's turn, as you take your step inside, you hear first out from the northwest that, and then on south and east and northeast, and the forest around you begins to echo with this screeching noise that you heard earlier. I would say instantly from that, you see the guy that was hiding, booking, and the third guy booking it. They're not going the exact same directions. They're all heading a variation of south. So, you know, southeast, southwest, or direct. I would say, Cerridwen, with your passive insight, absolutely bricking it. Every single one of those people heard that noise and decided, and here is not the place to go. That's how go.
We're
Get
not safe.
inside.
We're not safe. We're not safe here either. We should get to Mother.
Huh?
Where's Mother?
In the valley, down in the valley.
Oh, all right. What's over there?
Can you run? Are you fast?
Yeah, we can run.
And
Okay.
I'll look out and see if it's already too late.
So give me a perception. I would say as there's been these few seconds, the bears that are in the clearing, you quickly deem them to be illusions as they hit their end of the replay and repeat. And they are just illusions of bears stood on hinds, making lots of noise, being loud and aggressive. But there's a point where it resets back to the start of the major image or whatever the spell that is currently being used for this.
While they're running,
Roll
are
the
we
13.
able to get our actions in? 'Cause we didn't
Yeah. So what I'll say is, Pauli is probably actually after the first round, they're all in range. So are you all just targeting Pauli of those that are shooting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so give me 2 rounds of attacks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Before he is out of range.
Ooh.
Okay.
Should I hit him with a fireball in the first round?
So
Oh my god.
In the forest?
Before he gets
It's
to
a
the
wet forest.
He's in the clearing. He's in the clearing and it's raining.
for the first two, 1826, are they both gonna hit for the first Eldritch Blast?
18 misses, 26.
26. Yeah. Then next one would be 23. With 23
23
hit?
definitely hits. I would
So
say,
let's
Vesryn, with your Arcana, there is definitely some level of mage armor or something shieldy happened when that first blast, often. Yeah. You're getting the feeling of maybe some low-level casting from Pauli.
I'm going to hit him.
Sorry,
with a
how much
fireball.
damage on those?
16. 16 total damage for Eldritch Blast.
Okay, you see him stumble as Vesryn, you line up your fireballs. Bolts.
No.
Do you want to hit him with a? Do you want to?
I'm going to hit him with a fireball. Yes, I'm hitting him with a fireball. He's a caster, but I want to get it to where it's not hitting the tree line. I don't know if the first one can hit him before he gets to the tree line because I know I get 2. Because the second one would be the firebolt, if that's the case, if he's still up. So
okay, the fireball I'd say you can definitely place. Go ahead and
Dex 15.
Yes.
Dex save of 15.
Okay. He does succeed the Dex save for half.
All right. Hopefully, as a caster, it still hurts. So it's 8d6. That's actually not bad. It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 for the first 4. Ooh, 16. And then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32.
I can't believe you fireball this one dude.
He's a wizard and I don't like him. I get bad vibes from him.
You release the fireball for a massive explosion. Obviously, everybody sees this, Thrangle included. Thrangle, this is probably the
What are you
first
doing?
instance of magic this large that you've seen. Up front like this, anyway. I would say Vesryn, any of the ones proficient in Arcana, you see him cast Absorb Elements.
Oh, my eyes go bug-eyed when he does it.
And there's almost like a whooshing of the flames that whoosh around him. You can see large burn marks up his arms and legs, but he's still breathing in space.
Can I see him out there too?
Pardon?
Can I see him out there also?
Yeah, and you would see again for Thrangle. This is the first time you see Pauli take a hit. He's normally pulling strings from the back as he's breathing heavy. The clothes are smoldering, and maybe a few flames on the shirt.
I close the door after I push everyone in, and I head back out to Pauli.
Oh no, I was still out there, and I still got another round.
So I'd say you could
too. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so. What I would say is, after you fireball, yeah, he's not going to give you a second round of straight running. He is going to cast invisibility instead. You see him almost like smirk at you and give you like that nod of like caster to caster.
How far away is he?
He is currently, he would have moved and then so he'd be 60 from you.
Counter spell. Bitch, you ain't hiding from me. And that will be my 3/3 levels. That'll be my third levels.
I hope we don't need those later.
Yep.
I have a question. Can I interrupt that spell casting?
Which one?
From this person that I don't know casting and hurting my friends?
I will. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that you can make actions against him in terms of grappling. It won't stop the spell.
It's a reaction.
Spell. Yeah, it won't stop the counter spell, but I'm fine with you making a grapple attempt on this random caster. But you, Vesryn, as you sort of like getting tackled to the ground, your spell hits and he just looks. He will then...
Run, Pauli, run!
He sort of looks to Thrangle, smiles and says, I will come back for you, Thrangle. And he's going to move slightly. He can't get much further, but he moves out of eye line.
I try and grapple. Yeah, I try and grapple the wizard or the caster in front of me and just try and grab him and.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is make the grapple check between you two. If you become grappled, while it's not raw obviously, but I'm going to make the firebolt disadvantage as you're being like pulled around.
Yeah.
Firebolts, yeah. If you succeed, then it's just
Nat 20.
Would I be able to do acrobatic? Because
you're being grappled, so you can use either.
Okay. I rolled a natural 18 plus 3, so I don't. That's probably not going to be enough.
What's the total?
Just you feel like almost you can feel the hands gripping and pulling, and you're almost slipping out, and then another hand gets hold.
Yeah.
So disadvantage on that fireball bolts.
All right. Firebolts. I have a +7, so it's still a good chance.
Wait, did you say you have disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
Yeah,
I negate that disadvantage.
Oh.
I'm going to use a feature I never use, you guys.
The clockwork soul is that.
Clockwork soul, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. As you balance the way and give that a flat roll.
I rolled a 13 plus 7, so 20.
Okay.
And and if it was a disadvantage, it would have been like a 2. So
you see it glimpse his shield. Because he is in cover for the extra bonus. But I would say that you like so close to catching him there. As you are then almost pulled out of eye line by Thrangle. Next one up after to be honest, we can leave combat initiative now unless anybody specifically wants to chase. I would say that you all hear the staggered footsteps of somebody to the south. Making their way away. They're not doing it quietly. However, this screaming and noise, and I would say, Thrangle, as you're pulling Vesryn back to the north and the east, you're starting to see fast movement between the trees.
You need to be inside. We'll make a run if we get a chance later. Bar the windows.
The windows are already barred.
I don't know that. I was gone and you guys were in my house.
Yeah.
We didn't open any.
Okay, so you all pile into the quite dark.
Soul follows, by the way. Remember.
Yeah. So this one. What I'm gonna ask, probably after we've done this little section of roleplay, is for a few perceptions. Because obviously he is trying to hide. While he doesn't know he's trying to hide from a bird, it's still hiding versus spotting. So I'll get those from you in a moment. For the moment, you are all left in the dark, not very nice smelling hut that you have found in this clearing, with the hammering sound of rain. And from inside, you're still catching the screeches, but they're not quite as prominent, echoing through the forest. And you are left in this scene.
Should I light a lamp?
Yeah. So I'd say your lamp's probably still lit. It was probably just down.
Yeah, I'm not sure at this point yet.
Windows are barred. There'd be no light getting out.
Well, Dwayne, your son is quite strong.
Oh yeah, he gets it for me.
Clearly.
I have a different mother. This is not my mother. But you are a giant like me, which is interesting. And you are related to the heroes in the book. Or it sounds like you might be.
Yeah, I'm a Sagewynd. Descended from, that's my clan name.
Wow.
And
have
you met your mother? That sounds odd. Tell me, who's your mother?
Who's your mother?
Who's your mother?
Well, Chris.
In the back of her. The Christ?
Christ is my mother.
And she's a giant.
No, not at all. But who are all of you? I mean, you're a hero, but the rest of you attacked all my friends. Well, the bear didn't.
They're a bit jumpy.
And I go over to the bear, and I go onto my knees and kind of, like with a dog you don't know.
Yeah.
You test it, put your hand out, and
I would say you almost get a little
and then
bit
pet it behind the ears.
Yeah, and Thrangle can almost sense that there is more intelligence there. Although Thrangle would probably put it to like, this is a very well trained bear, but your natural understanding of the animals around you've met bears in the wild that they're nice, but they're not this chill about getting head scratches.
It's well
Thrangle,
trained.
that was my apologies, sir. That was my fault, not your mother, your real mother, Dwen. I heard them say that they may have hurt Bibby, and I may have acted irrationally, so I do apologize for hurting your friends, but if they hurt them...
Yeah,
we
found Bibby and Gibby. They'd been turned undead. So we killed them again.
I mean, there was nothing you could do once they were gone. I mean...
Weren't they with a third person?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a human, right?
Human in like tribal scrap armor.
Yeah, I'll describe that. Yeah, they were with some human with sort of tribal scrap furs.
Say from the description, it sounds like Trilac.
Yes, I know him. Gibby and Bibby were learning to write. They weren't very good at it yet, but they would get there.
Enough those legible, at least. I mean, that was pretty decent.
How did you get turned into metal?
It was made this way.
They were made.
Wait, what do you mean made?
I don't know. I don't know how that works. They just do.
Are you hollow?
Born like this, kinda. Are you hollow?
I don't know. I've been poked with a knife, and I feel things were in there, but who knows how deep.
Yeah.
Well,
same with me.
Let's get names at least. I'm Cerridwen. I'm This is Vesryn.
I apologize.
is-
I had to grab you like that, Vesryn.
No, no need to apologize. There's somebody you care for, but I do not trust them. For them, when we called out repeatedly to make peace, they were still kind of, I don't know, itching. Plus, he did not have his friends lay down their weapons. So, from my perspective,
Did your friends lay down their weapons? The
my
metal
friends
one
didn't
kept
fire.
holding
Yeah,
on to me.
yes, actually.
my
yeah.
friends did
I
not
did,
fire until they were
actually.
fired upon. Yes.
What weapons?
I was held by a
Uh,
weapon.
But we held you
Trust
so we
me,
could try
I-
to talk to you.
Could have done a lot more damage than what I did.
You may need that weapon soon, though, so keep it ready.
What
I always
happens?
do.
This is Daesis, the bear. She's actually a druid. Do you know what a druid is?
You would
Yes.
actually.
I
Yeah,
do.
she's a druid.
Oh,
She's just
that's
hanging out in bear form.
so you're a person of some kind.
Then this is Hipley.
S- How do you
Call
learn to
him
turn
Triggerfinger.
into that Hipley? Very nice to meet you, Hipley.
Did you ask how to turn to a hip? Well,
Into a bear. I did.
And I kind of bear sit down and legs are out.
That's so cool.
Oh, that's so cute.
Whoa.
Daesis has a strong connection to her deity, which Kara don't remember, but I don't remember. I wrote it down in my other set of
Her
notes.
what?
Oh God, deity.
yes.
Wait, what?
So
What's
for,
that?
for Thrangle, you know that the druids in Greenbark follow Gabor,
Ah, okay.
but that's the
Then I
only
won't,
thing
then I
you've
won't say
heard
that
of.
then. Okay.
Like people of power.
Like your friend Vesryn, he has power. And Pauli has
But
power.
on like a much grander scale, like those who create planets and things like that.
I'm in no means on the level of a god, but thank you for the compliment.
From what we've read, you're better than most.
Whatever
of the
that was you just
Afterlife
said, it was
heroes.
very interesting, but it made no sense. I don't even. So what do you do? Do you turn into a bear or metal?
Who's that referring to?
You?
Me? Oh, she, is anyone injured here?
Doesn't look like it.
I can do, I sing and I can make spells happen through the song. And then she's just like, I'm thinking like through my,
I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I don't think I've ever met a bard.
yeah, I'm a bard. And then she just, oh, you know, can
Hold
I
on.
cast here?
Hold on a second. And I go back into the room, into my room, and I come out with a little device that I put to my mouth and has a little metal that I strum. You know, like that music.
And she just pulls out like her I have a lute. That's right. All right, I have a lute. Well, I do more of this, and then she plays. She'll pick a piece that's like a really old Shaley piece that she think like might be like mentioned in the book, possibly, but that's kind of a long stretch.
Okay, so you start playing, and Thrangle is oddly comforting and a little familiar, but you couldn't place why.
I know that's from somewhere.
It's passed down through the Sagewynds. So you said that you're the only giant.
Well, not
Around.
anymore.
Well, apart from myself, but she's just like, you do realize that To be a giant, you have to come from giants, right? You have to be born of giants.
I was born of the forest.
So, what does that mean to you? Because I don't think it means the same thing to me.
I was birthed in the Crystar, and my mother has watched over me since.
Do I have any idea what a Crystar is?
You can make me an intelligence check.
So great at those. That's a 5.
Okay.
And
Actually, Vesryn might have heard it too. Vesryn can make it. Vesryn would have known.
I rolled a natural 15 plus 4, so 19. It's straight intelligence, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know that the Crystar is where you're supposed to carve the symbol. You remember that name from... Yeah. That's your
Like
task here. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And I will lean over and whisper that in your ear. Okay.
You were born of the... Did you say on or on of the Crystar? What were the exact words again?
However you remember them.
Okay. So, you were born of the forest, and Crystar... What's Crystar again? To you? Indulge me.
It's where my mother lives, in the clearing with the stones. It's not
Does your mother
far
talk
from
to
here.
you in your mind? When I talked to you before, you said something about, mother, you sound different. Does she talk to you telepathically?
Wait, you talk to me?
Oh yeah.
I talked to him telepathically, yes. So you hear that in your mind?
That's how mother talks to me most of the time.
Oh.
And you can talk in my mind too. Are you my father then?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I am. Yes. Deception,
No.
yes.
No.
Yes, I am.
No, he's not.
Yes, I am.
No, he is
Why
not.
hide this? Why hide this? Okay, like,
You
son,
are not.
it's been so long, son. Like, I'm...
My brother.
And I pet the
was your
bear
father.
in the ears. What's the matter? Wait a minute. Your bear, Desus,
Yes.
is not happy about something.
I don't know what could be the problem.
And I head snout pointing towards him.
Have you so you mentioned your mother before as Tish?
Christ.
Okay, so is that a shortened form of Krista, or is that just her name?
Yes.
And you've met Chris as a person.
Yes.
Can I meet her?
She'd probably be happy to see another giant. There's only been one here.
I'm
She'll
very.
be so surprised.
I am very interested in meeting her.
Is Chris a giant too? Or no? Just make sure I have it right.
No. She's rather small. I'm going to go to the door and just sort of peek out, see if there's any trouble brewing.
So the you can see that the rain is starting to fade. Thrango, you know that. So you already know that the bears are an illusion, and
yeah.
Now that there has been
I was
some
worried
time,
about the bears.
Yeah. Now that there's been some time, the fog that had been dispelled, counterspelled, has seemed to rise. Those with Arcana, you reckon that means it's an item? Items, continuous items that when dispelled tend to just, or counterspelled, tend to just happen for a time. So Arcane people, the rod just activated it. Whatever is casting the spell is in this vicinity. But the fog seems to have risen and the rain is starting to fade. You can still hear the occasional cries, but it's seeming to quiet out. Thrangle, looking at it, you think maybe another 20 minutes on the rain. What I will say is, so it's probably been about 10, 15 minutes already. If the group was going to go for a long rest, you're within a short rest, sorry, you're within the realms of while you're sort of sat talking, you are essentially short resting. So obviously, Thrangle, you reckon about another 20 minutes before it would be safe to move in the open?
We can leave in a little while. It's not much longer.
Oh, all right.
So, if you're a Sagewynd, like you say you are,
As are you.
if you're a Sagewynd, could you name? Okay. Where do the Sagewinds come from?
Really?
Hold on a second. And I go to my box under the bed, and I see the bed's all gone.
Yeah, and you open the box and see that the book isn't there.
Oh. I think Pally may have taken my book. Damn it.
Yes.
Like, can I just like take it out and like put it on like the table? And be like, oh, this book?
Give me a sleight of hand. Let's see how well you do.
No, Dwayne, I was gonna say just keep it hidden in your mind. But it's too late. I was like, well.
Yeah, okay, that's a 21.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that
the sleight of hand was so high, Cerridwen. Do you want to tell us something?
You've all been robbed. You've never had any gold. So yeah, Thrangle, I'm gonna say Thrangle, you're not specifically looking for it, and it's high enough to beat your passive. So you're just sort of like looking around for your book. Maybe it's left under here. You're checking a desk drawer.
Oh, there it is. And I see it on the desk or something where she put it. Oh wait, were you putting it somewhere?
Oh shoot, yeah, like just like on anything that was like a chair or a table nearby or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So, excuse me, and I'll grab the book. What'd you say the place?
Bailey.
Where's Shaylee?
On Elixia. I'm pretty sure it's on the sort of like southeast part of it.
Wow. And I'm gonna open the book up to the back. And I'm gonna reach into the sleeve where the pocket is. I'm gonna pull out the sheet. And I'm gonna lay down a map that was in the back of the book.
And again, for those of you looking at this map has been opened and poured over and clearly looked after, but used a lot in this fashion. You can see the creases where it's folded are like repeatedly unfolded and folded back together. And I believe you're going to be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hold up now. So you see this map. Use the right. Although my stupid head's in the way of part of it. Right. Oh, it's not there yet. Almost. Although you can see it in the thing. So, you're from here, and I point to Elixia.
Right?
And is the map not showing? Oh, there it is. God, it's a long delay. And the map looks very familiar to you, but it's not exactly the same. But
there's a big island called Reveus right there.
So yeah, as you take a look over this map, you can see all these details. Any of you that have looked at the maps before will see the obvious differences and be able to note those.
You've done heroic things then. Your family does heroic things to, well, I don't know why. I can't imagine it's just for fun, but...
Well, we're a bardic family. We go around collecting stories, and when you're collecting stories, you often become part of them.
Oh my god.
And then we make those songs Then we take history and make them into songs. And that's where we get our tales and legends and things like that.
How far have you traveled? All of you? You all traveled far?
We teleported here.
Is that a long walk? Is that a long distance?
It's a spell. We use magic to get here. But I did travel by foot a lot before. She just traces some of her more common routes, around here, and I'd usually go over there.
Is Eaterwag still alive? That's
no.
the journal writer.
No. He's not. 'Cause I imagine either she doesn't recognize the name, or she knows Eaterwag as someone that's her great-great-grandpa.
It's way further than that.
Yeah, times a bajillion, so. No. He's not. He's been...
Were you there during the sacrifice of the unicorn in the Brock?
Vesryn's ears perk up at that.
Because I wouldn't have approved of that. That was not a good thing to...
Wait. Oh, we've been there. But no. What do you know of that? Why was the unicorn sacrificed?
And I pop the book closed and I fold up the map. To protect the island or something. Elixia.
Yes,
But it brought darkness to the island too, so it was a bad trade-off, I suppose. The rain's dying down. We should probably get heading out. We don't want to be caught in the rain outside.
But are we going towards your friend, or are we going to your mother?
My mother.
Chris? All right.
Okay. Your friends won't be there, right? So your friends are going somewhere else, I assume?
Yeah, they'll probably be going somewhere else.
Yeah, Thrango,
Insight
you
check.
know, you roll that insight. Thrango, you know the usual protocol for issues is to separate and then re-meet, usually at this house or something like that. Pauli doesn't know a great deal about the star.
19 for insight.
Yeah, they'll go somewhere else and gather. They'll come looking
You
for
see-
me after a while.
You seem that to be true.
At the moment, I don't care. You don't seem like you're a threat to me.
Well, I can say we...
Nuzzle my head against his leg.
I think I have some food in the other room. If you, it may smell bad. The room smells bad now.
You know... she's like, yeah, well, we came and, it was already like this.
I tried to clean up the smell, but I couldn't get it out.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about that.
Right, that's okay.
Okay, and with the weather outside clearing up, the group step out, and you can see that whatever fog and illusion spell was there has seemed to fade. Give me those rolls for Saul.
Yeah.
Give me 3 perceptions, please.
First one is, what's it? Should have +3, right? Look here. +3, yeah. So 56, 70, 18 for the first roll.
Okay.
Damn, second roll is a 17. And the last one is a 4. 5, 6, 7. So.
Okay. So very easily while he's traveling on foot, Saul is just flitting from branch to branch, very easily following him at the pace he's moving at. After maybe about half an hour, they come upon a dirt track, and sort of like hidden behind some bushes, you see they sort of uncover a cart, and some horses are tied there, where you imagine they stopped before making their way up this way. I would say with that final roll, I'll leave it up to you. Either Saul can follow, but you are going to lose contact as they get on this cart and go, or Saul will pull back. It's that at that sort of breaching point. Yeah. Saul will give you the warning of like, should I keep going?
Yeah, no, I'll snap and then snap her back. Well, actually, first she'll watch to see what direction he goes in.
Yeah, so I'd say before you snap them back, they seem to turn around and head on the dirt road. It looks like it's winding, but it's heading eastward. And you imagine this looks like the sort of hunting track that would lead up to a thicker trail further down the line.
You get the mental squeaky.
Yeah, and then snap, and then you see Vesryn snap his finger, and then he snaps again, and then you see a little, like, somewhat fiery bird appear on his shoulder.
Can I back away a little bit from that?
Oh, it's all right.
No, Soul's she's
No
afraid.
pain.
Vesryn's not scary once you get to know him.
Really not scary at all.
Come up behind Vesryn and like kind of bear hug over his shoulders.
Yep. Yes, thank you. Thesis, thank you.
My head's like on top of his.
And Soul like lands on top of your head.
Nice little stack.
Jack 'em.
Is magic not common here?
Pauli does some tricks.
Do you not like them? The tricks?
I don't mind them. They're pretty cool. Not cool. They're pretty interesting. I'm not sure it's a good idea to use fire in the forest. That seems like a bad idea. And I look right at Vesryn.
I made sure I didn't hit the trees. I was very well aimed at what I was doing. Very well aware of the forest. But I believe your friend Holly, was it? Yes?
Yeah.
Will think twice before raising their weapons against us again without talking. Well, they should, because next time you will not be able to stop me if him and his friends attack my friends or your mother. And I look at Cerridwen. You may not believe it yet, but she is your mother.
And I go over to my box and I take out the little piece of metal that I have in there, the shiny metal, and I kind of look at my face in it. I mean, maybe we can be sister and brother or something, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
we do look
I've been told
similar.
I've been told I do have a youthful face.
There's something. We look similar-ish.
Would it be such a bad thing if this is your mother? Would that be?
But it makes no sense. I lived my whole life here with being raised by my mother.
A lot of things don't make
okay, if you were my mother, where were you?
Well, do you want to have this conversation now, or because we're gonna sit for a long time?
Yeah, we should get running. We should be
It's gonna
moving.
take.
So say that you guys sort of start making your way. Obviously, sorry, go on, Bess.
I was just saying, you said, did he drop that item?
The rod, no, he didn't drop the rod.
Okay, because I thought you said he dropped the item. He just dropped the spell there from the item.
Yeah.
I was going to pick that up.
Yeah. No, yeah. As you head out, so you see the rain is clearing up. You begin making the journey back northwards. Even with Thrangle leading, the rest of you recognize the path you previously traveled down to make your way to this hut. As you're heading up, you're seeing not like clumped, like every 5 minutes or so, one or two or three bodies lying down on the ground where they weren't before. You didn't notice them on the way down. Lots of them some of them even head to toe in like moss and grass that seems to have overgrown them. Vesryn,
Oh no, Maury. Oh, you too.
Vesryn, give me an intelligence. Yes, for Thrangle, a lot of them that you're seeing seem to be the tribesfolk that you have known and traded with.
I rolled low, 13 total with my bonuses.
Okay, no, I'm gonna. You're you sort of try to put to like why these bodies, what's like almost trying to figure out what's going on. The most you've come across in terms of necromancy requires somebody to be close. You've never seen it just like randomly and down again and randomly and down again. So with that, you're making your way, and the forest seems a lot calmer with the clearing of the weather, and you make good time as you head back towards the Crystal. As you come up to one of the higher bits of land, as you're coming down onto the clearing that is where Thrangle says this Crystal is, it becomes a bit more apparent to you, especially for Cerridwen, as you look down on it. The stone pillars that seem to be in that odd circle shape would be a star, if not for the fifth one being laid down. If they were all upright, it would make a star position around the altar. And you see that more clearly from the higher vantage point as you head down.
Okay.
There she is. What are? Oh my God! There's bodies all around them.
Yeah, Franco, you're like, what is this?
Oh my God! I can't
Say-
take so any more death.
No.
Say after about an hour, my black fur would have started to turn or shift into like a silver white and starts dissipating off me into stardust as I take back my form.
That's a shocking thing to see.
This is Thesis' true form.
Hello.
Or is it?
It's full of mysteries.
No, this is truly me, and I just pat my horns and wiggle my tail.
Oh yeah, you have horns.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get horns? And how did you hide them in the bear?
Well, the bear is part of my shaping that Luluwin allows me to do, but I was born with these. My father, we're called tiefling. I'm half tiefling. My father was a tiefling.
I don't know what that is, but that sounds... I mean, you're definitely not something I've seen. So a tiefling is a person with horns and blueness.
Oh, well, we come in other colors, but horns is a typical trait.
And a tail?
Oh, they also have tail, yeah.
Wow. I gotta say, you're the most interesting appearance-wise group I've seen come through here. I've seen people like you, Hipley, and you, Vesryn. Although not a long time.
Well, we showed up here as I gestured to the pile of bodies. And we came with them, but they're frozen in place.
Sometimes orcs, from what I hear, have tusks that come out of their mouth. Are you related to them?
Just an orc.
You don't know. You've never heard of one.
Yeah, I remember you telling me a long time ago that there were orcs in Elixia.
What's an orc?
Do I know what an orc is?
Nope.
We cock our heads like, what?
Ah. So you don't know what orcs are.
You don't know what tieflings are.
Very interesting. It sounds like there are more people out there of different types than both of us know.
So say, as you're sort of having this conversation as you're walking into the circle, as you enter the circle, Thrangle, you instantly feel the presence of your mother, although she doesn't openly reveal herself. Then you hear in your head, Thrangle, my dear, you've brought guests. Are they to be trusted?
Hello, Mother. I think so. One of them says that they're the giant. The giant one says that she's my mother, but obviously that can't be the case.
Okay, there's almost like for the rest of the group, there's like Thrango just sort of stops and stares into space for a second, only broken by like a strong wind blowing through that blows through from east to west, and sort of as you're blustered and look back at the altar, sitting on top of the altar cross-legged, appears to be an extremely old dryad. Sitting cross-legged and almost just blankly observing each of you.
Hello.
That's
Mother?
why
Hello,
I
Mother.
felt that magic.
Oh.
This is Mother.
It is a pleasure to meet you all. Thrangle says that one of you claims to be...
And I point at Cerridwen. She says
They
she's
sort
my
of
mother.
They sort of trail off as they look at you. Might step forward a second.
Right. Steps forward.
Tell me your name.
Cerridwen Sagewynd.
There's almost like, again, this rustle and Desis. There's almost like an ebbing natural magic in this area. And the dryad seems to ponder and listen to the wind for a moment before looking quite happily at Thrangle. She does not lie.
What? And then I look at Cerridwen. But I was born of the woods and in the Christ. How is she my mother? I've never seen her.
You see, she
I don't
nods.
take my eyes off of Cerridwen at this point.
You see, she nods and she almost gestures in like a take a seat, but to like the grass. I must be honest, Thrangle. While it is true you were born in this forest, it is only that I found you in the crystal. It is not that I birthed you.
You want to hear my story?
I don't think I can speak. I think I would just nod.
Okay. Well,
I'm sorry I doubted you.
I mean, it's a lot to take in, your mother's been gone. Biological mother's been gone a long time, and never really spoken to you. She's very, like, flustered. It's like she's just kind of processing all of this going on. Well, this is Vesryn, who is your uncle. And
Hipley is my uncle too? And
That was your
Desis,
dad.
am I related to all of you?
No.
just, well, not by us, blood. Yes. Not them, as far as I know, no.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, no.
Somewhere down the line, Hipley's like got ancestry ties to your family.
Yeah. So, okay, Vesryn's family is the, they oversee the rulership of Elixia, where we live. It's,
In Cairo.
Yes,
Yeah.
house magic.
Yeah. And it's headed by his father.
Was your father the one corrupted by the mask?
No, I don't believe so. What do you know about this mask?
What about mask?
Can you tell us more about this mask? Because we've come across this mask.
The vestige of Kairos. It's a mask of some kind.
After Dwin tells you the rest of the story, would you be willing to share the stories that you know?
So was your family... Actually, I gotta get a name right. After Seville Madrick, that's your name, right? Madrick? After Seville disappeared, did the corruption corrupt your entire family from then on in history? Because the history doesn't tell much anything more.
Well,
The Sagewynds probably saved your family, I would imagine.
I can say this. Cerridwen has saved me on more accounts than I can remember. So, in the sense that the Sagewinds have saved us, yes. But I will say that, as far as I know, for a very long time, my family was not corrupted until recent years, when something corrupted one of my brothers, and then also your father. Sorry, Twin. Please, I did not mean to.
And Vesryn, what's your dad's name? Because I literally wrote dad, not like his name. I have like everyone else's name.
Oh man, now you can make me pull it up. I don't have it written like in front of me. 1 second.
It's oh, I know it because it's like the same name as something else.
Yeah, hold on, I got it. It's Phelan. It's the same as
yeah. His name is something else. Okay, so his father's name is Phelan, and he, well, for lack of a better term, he's terrifying, and he wanted all of his children to, be well married off and things like that, And I came into the family as a bard to comfort them in time of their mother's passing. Vesryn's mother.
He's not gone.
We believe that she is not truly dead, but rather she has ascended to actually here somewhere. But at the time, they were mourning her being gone. And while I was there, I met his older brother, Eldrin, who was very handsome and charming in his own way. And after many garden walk, we felt quite fond of each other, and we fell in love. We sought each other's company in more than one way, and I was a secret. Our relationship was secret because we knew that her father Phelan would never approve.
Why would love be a secret?
Because Phelan values things like political ties more than love.
Because my father's a troglodyte.
And
it's probably the corruption.
I won't argue with that. But with Phelan being away at sea, Eldrin was the one to lead the island. And he became paranoid and frightened of people conspiring against him. And he when I told him that we were expecting you, he got into a rage. He said certain things like, I wish we'd never been together. And that we should try to get rid of the baby. So I left, and I lied to him, saying I miscarried and that you had been lost. But I was still afraid that if Phelan found out about you, that I'd never let you go. So I sent you away because if Phelan found me and asked me, magic can make you say truths. I couldn't tell him where you were if I didn't actually know. So I sent you away because I didn't know how else to protect you. And I found out that my mother and sister made a deal with some fae to protect you with Quill Island. And after a long time of looking, we're here.
So, to protect me, you you found a place for me to be safe. And then you started looking for me after a time.
Yeah. Well, I accidentally undid the spell. I didn't. That was meant to protect you. So, well, I had to come looking for you.
As you're having this back and forth, the dryad would hold out both their hands, and you would see almost like a shield and chain binding patterned into the wood of like literally like almost like carved into their what the dryad skin is, but wood carved almost. I have only ever known I am to be here and watch Thrangle, as he became to be called.
The name I gave you was Telsin. That's why I kept calling you that. It's supposed to, it means shining brow, like you're meant to bring hope to other people.
We look a lot alike, not just a little.
Yeah.
That was a heroic thing. Definitely honorable and something a Sagewynd would do. I can't even imagine having to send off a child to protect it, to be in a position where that was the best option. I mean, thank you for protecting me. I suppose you found me a good mother, or whoever it was that found me a good mother to protect me until you arrived. I've never met another giant.
Are you right if I hug you?
Of course.
And then
leans forward.
she gives him just the longest hug and starts to cry and just can't let him go.
I'm a little surprised that I have a new mother, that I have two mothers. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Thank you for looking for me and finding me.
You're definitely worth it, kid. And she'll hold his face.
Wow.
Just
Your mom.
your son. Oh. Yeah.
I don't know what we're supposed to do now.
I don't either. This is Vesryn. This is Vesryn, your uncle. We're very close. I would like it if you two were close too.
As long as he doesn't attack all my friends, chase him off with fire.
He's just protective of his own friends.
This is Chris, my mother.
And
you see the dryad this whole time is just like very blank-faced, smiling at moments, but of those of you with good insights, extremely hard to read to what's actually there. And as you sort of mention and look to them, she looks back at, I do not know what is to happen next. Are you to take Taliesin back?
Well, I was instructed to carve onto the stone here. Leland asked me to put their name down on the stone. So I guess I'll do that.
She thinks for a moment and says, "My binding is to the altar, so maybe the altar specifically."
Okay.
I have the chisel. Because you had the mask, I had the chisel.
The
other people
Dryad would
brought it.
recognize the chisel as being magical. It has magical runes on it.
Have people been brought here?
No.
How do you mean?
Like, one day they're not here, and the next day they're just here.
Not before you 5.
There are other people who have been taken on our island. They just disappear from Elixia. They call it ascensions. But we know now that they didn't ascend, they were whisked away to another place. I'd hoped it would be here. This place.
So again, you see they think for a moment and close their eyes, and you feel again the like trees rustling with wind and the leaves movement as almost they're sensing outwards. I cannot tell you much outside of this forest, but the protections around Ravis are failing. The barriers between the worlds are getting thinner. It is possible that others have entered through another place. I do wish I could help more, but I have been bound to this tree for a very long time.
I hand Gwyn the chisel, and then I just kind of turn and walk off quietly, just to stand off to the side or in the back.
I carve the name in to the altar.
Okay. You carve in the symbol of Kuhulain. And, well, I mean, you're GMing, not me.
Yeah. So
you do that.
You finish the final tap, and there is a whoosh of energy feeding up from the ground. You see the dryad almost again. They were old, and it looked like a very old withered tree. As you see life sort of start to come back to the skin, and you feel yourself, that same energy start to overtake you as you once felt as you were traveling. As you all fall back through the portal, the dryad looks to Cerridwen, and you watch the face change from dryad to hag as they smile, and you fade into the portal. And that is where we're going to end today's session.
We've been had by a hag. We've been
God
by
damn it! I
hags.
knew it. I knew that bitch was suspicious. I wanted to insight check her 3 separate times. I didn't do it. Oh.
I have one fireball left. Fireball as we fall in the hole.
I'm just sure that would have been a whole situation for Thrangle to get over as you attack his mother.
You think I'm corrupted?
Attack his mom. Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you very much. That is where we will end this session as you are teleported on your way back to hopefully Elixia.
Well, yeah.
Find out.
Yep.
That was crazy fun, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
So we still have the chisel, by the way? We still have the chisel, or did the chisel...
You still have it.
Okay. I think we can still use it on our island, can't we?
Yeah, I was going to say, all of that I'll leave up to the other DM now.
Yeah.
But no, I do hope you all enjoyed. Thank you very much for having me.
Great.
Guys.
Thank
Genuinely.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liam.
Oh,
Thank you, everybody.
Very awesome.
We will see you next week at our normal time, I think.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.